Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
He became steel wristed.
Welcome back to another live podcast for Earthworks Hub. Look where I am. You can see I am back in my studio. It's Sunday, the 12th of July, and I've made it back. I'm back in Melbourne. It's bloody freezing. I'm freezing in this garage. I've got the heater cranked right near my feet there. Hopefully that's going to be enough to let me survive this whole episode. So yes, I will talk a little bit more about my trip in a second. I'll just tell you what we're expecting tonight so that you all know what to expect, and then I'll get the guest on as well. So this podcast, for anyone that is new to us, is only one aspect of Earthworks Hub. So Earthworks Hub is actually Australia's online earthmoving platform. So it's designed for everybody in the earthmoving industry. And on our platform, not only can you listen to a podcast, you can also learn something about the earthmoving industry in our academy and in the associated workshops. You can also find operators or put yourself down as available for work. If you're looking for work as an operator, you can find clean fuel, or you can get rid of clean fuel. There's tip sites on there. You can find other contractors, other suppliers. You can see events, and you can also join the new Earthworks Hub community, which I'm also going to talk about in a second. So I just saw Ado Spiza is saying there's some free concrete tipping in Dandenong South. There you go, man. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So Plastube has joined us. How are you, legend? All right. So welcome back. I am in Melbourne. Share this to everyone. It's going to be a big night. We've got lots to talk about, and I have a lovely guest joining me in a minute. So I'll do the formalities, and then I will get Mr. Lawton on, and we can find out about himself. Couple of quick shout outs. Let's go back here. Who's joined us? We've got T. Gillespie, Tactical Terraforming, Lawton Earthworks, which is his wife. Sydney Rockwalls, Ados Bezo, LJS Rule. Who else? Hawkesbury, how are you, legend? Nathan Noodles, PC Earth, Nam Earthmoving, how are you, man? Tracy Grigger, Mitchell Morgan, how are you, leg? BRW, Dirt to Sawdust, Jack Healy. Where is he? I've got to still look. I've still got this on, Jacko. EMB Hire. I'm just flashing one of Jack's t-shirts that I've had here for a while, but today I thought I'll put it on. And I'm also wearing Sunshine Finance Brokers. So while I was up in Queensland, we all caught up and I got a bit of merch. So throughout the evening, I actually got a lot of stuff. So throughout the evening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change. I'm going to change numerously and put on different hats and stuff from all the people that I got stuff from. So there you go. MOBA, how are you, legend? GDX Positracks, what's going on? Raywell ADM Civil, Brad 257, Plastubes here. Who else is there? Trackload Excavations, iTrack as well. Guys, I'm sorry. Miss M 2012, thank you, Miss Miller. And Boss Trip Out has joined. All right. No more naming. Thank you very much to everyone. MOBA saying good evening. You'll be happy tonight, MOBA, because we have one of your customers joining us. All right, so I am back in Melbourne, got back on Friday. Let's see how I go tonight. I have massive shoulder pains. I think it's just from all the time driving in the car. My hands have been going numb, my shoulder, or my arm, everything's just been going numb. So I think it's just from all the driving, sitting in the same position for so long. Hopefully it's going to go away. I've been doing some stretches and that, but I notice now as soon as I sit back down again, it starts. So let's see. I might have to stand up halfway through the episode. We'll see what happens. But my road trip was awesome. Thank you to everyone. I'll do a quick rundown in a second. But I will announce first that we have a guest. We have Mr. Brendan Lawton from Lawton Earthworks. You may have seen his posts on Instagram. Usually they are a point of view video where he's in the cabin. You'll see his steel wrist hanging off the end of his excavator, and he's doing some fancy work. So he doesn't really like being on camera. So I feel very privileged, and we're very lucky to actually convince him to come on and be a guest. So that's we should consider ourselves lucky to have him on. So it'll be a good chat in a second. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to do a quick wrap up of my trip and get him on. So there you go. And I'm going to talk about the new community section of Earthworks Hub as well, and then we'll get him on. So let's do a quick wrap up of the trip. What was the purpose of the trip? So most of you will probably already know if you watched my previous episodes. I was starting to get a little bit down, sitting in front of this computer all the time, only seeing people through the screen. And I was like, you know what? I need to get out of here. I need to go out on the road. So I need to get out of the office. I need to be a bit more present amongst the community, meet some new faces. So some of the people that I've only seen on here or spoken to on the screen, I actually want to go out and see them face to face. I want to catch up with some old friends, people that I've met through this Earthworks Hub podcast. So we've made a massive community. I want to go and see some of the old friends that I've seen in the past, because I do these annually now. Connect with some new partners and potential sponsors. So there's a lot of stuff coming, guys. There's going to be some big announcements coming. And you know what? I wanted to learn something new. Go and visit some sites, see what other people do, see some new places. So I got to also experience seeing a little bit of Australia that I haven't seen. So there you go. So that was the purpose of the trip. And did I achieve what I wanted? Yes, and plus. Yes, and more. I probably got more than I expected. I met lots of awesome people, a lot of them on here now as well. So I am thanking all of you guys. And the Melbourne trip is coming. Yes, the Melbourne trip is happening. I've decided I do need to do that. So the Melbourne trip is going to happen shortly. So I met a lot of awesome people on the trip, whether it was at their job sites or at a pub or a cafe somewhere, or even at their house. Some people actually invited me back to their house. Everyone was so welcoming, so accommodating. And I met people that are just starting out in the industry, some guys that have never been in it and just starting out, all the way to guys that have been in it for their whole life, or 30, 40, 50 years, and it's like second or third generation in the industry. So it was good to go and meet and speak to all these people on different parts of the spectrum, whatever. Everyone's at different levels. So I got to meet some people's partners, their kids, even some of their pets. I got to see their hobby collections that they really don't show anyone else. I learnt that we all need a hobby or something to do after work rather than just work. And that's one thing that I need to take away from this trip, is that I harp on to everyone else about needing a hobby and doing something for yourself apart from working, and I don't do it. So my new goal for me is to find some more time for myself and actually sometimes think, you know what, if it's not that important, I can do it tomorrow. It doesn't have to be done right now. So that's my goal. In this last week, so since our last episode, which was with Andrew from Sydney Rockwalls when I was up in Brisbane, since then I went to see Westrack in Tomago in New South Wales. That was an awesome thing, an awesome what do you want to call it, tour. And I had Tom from Final Trim Excavations and Damien from Cenex, who I also saw join here this evening. So thank you very much. And thank you also to Chris and Buddy from Westrack for their hospitality and taking us on an amazing tour, and to all the people that came and showed us around in all the other departments as well. So there you go. O'Neill's Plant and I just joined. I was just saying a big thank you to everyone that was so accommodating. And some people, like I said, took me to not only their job sites, but back to their house. And I met families and got to see their kids and all that. So I got to see that other side of the people that watch the show and sponsors and participators and guests. I got to see the other aspect. So it was really not aspect. So I thank you all very much. Moldspot is saying he's got my listing on Moldspot now. Very good. So moldspot.com.au has Earthworks Hub on there as well. So go check him out. If anyone needs that, go. Everyone needs any mold training, go and check them out. O'Neill's Plant High is saying you're stopping by and driving the 70. Exactly right, man. So, and I was saying last week I drove your 70 tonner, and then I said we went back for a beer, and your son actually smashed me in billiards. So I'll have to practice a bit and come back next time. What else? So apart from going to Westrack this week, I went and caught up with Ashton from Komatsu. So a big shout out to Komatsu. Also met his wife as well, and caught up with Andrew from Sydney Rockwalls. What else? Brett from Comiskey Mining as well, and a whole bunch of other people this week. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. I've got so much going on. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching that trip and going on that journey with me. I know I was only posting it in stories, but I don't want to do too much posting and then bore you. But I did film a lot of it. So look out for my films coming out, or the videos. They'll be out on YouTube in the very near future. So hoping to start some of those this week. All right. One more last thing before we go ahead. So Sunshine Finance Brokers, thank you very much for this. I'm going to swap hats again. I'm going to start doing my hat swap. There we go. I haven't had time to adjust these. Oh, this is from Tom from Final Trim. What a lovely hat as well. Thank you very much to Tom. And Amo saying thanks for stopping in. It was good. Good to see everyone. And thank you so much for also being so accommodating people. Very, very good to see you all there. All right. Massive announcement. Most of you would have seen a few posts come out recently. Earthworks Hub community is live. I always say this, forget Facebook, forget LinkedIn, come to the site where we only have earth movers. Any suppliers, dealers, contractors, anyone to do with earth moving can come to the Earthworks Hub community. Australia has finally decided we need a dedicated online community just for earth movers, and Earthworks Hub is the one. So go check it out. It's up and running. So think of it, like I said, like Facebook and LinkedIn sort of thing, all in one. So it's only just for earth movers though. So why would you go anywhere else? So you can go on there, whether you're an operator, contractor, business owner, or supplier. You can join our discussions. You can buy and sell stuff on there. You can search for contractors and suppliers. You can find employment, learn in the academy, listen to podcasts, and you can get practical tools and resources, templates, calculators, all that stuff as well. So you can join that for free. So there is a free option with the option to upgrade to other memberships if you want more access. So go to earthworkshub.com.au/plans and pricing, or go to the front page and click on it at the top and it will tell you there. So we've had a massive amount of people jumping on there. In the last day or so, there's been over 50 people going on, if not more, and everyone from Patreon is transferring over. So we're going to stop Patreon very shortly. It's all coming over to Earthworks Hub. So while you're in Earthworks Hub, you can actually you can manage your business listing. So you can put your business on there. You can manage all that. You can do posts or list your employment or positions vacant, all that stuff. So you can do all that while you're in there. So Zach Walpole is saying, "Hey mate, I'll get you to give us a hand with that. Only just sent your message." Yeah, Zach, no worries, man. No worries. Well, yeah, I've seen that you got in there, so you must be right. And ADM saying you'll do it this week. That's it, man. Jump on, guys. Go ahead. If you're already a member on Patreon, all you got to do is come over, sign up, go to the same membership that you had in Patreon, click on it, go through all the payment system. And then once that's all done, then you can actually cancel the Patreon one. And that's it. Slowly, we'll be all over. So thank you very much to all the people that have got on so quick. GDX Positrax is saying, anyone know a good insurance broker in New South Wales? Yes, there are many that you can speak to. I don't know if they're in there. I know they're on the Gold Coast, but you can talk to Chevron Insurance. You can talk to IMAR Insurance as well. They're national, and a whole bunch of other ones. So, but that's what you do. Typical question that you can put in the community chats. So go and do that on the Earthworks Hub when you've got a chance. And like I said, this is now available on the computer, and you can use it on your phone. So it's not an actual app, but you can use it on your phone, and it converts into a phone version. So it's easy. Just make sure that you click on Remember Me, so that way every time you go in, you don't have to keep putting your password in. So that's it, man. So there you go. ADM Civil saying he's got a good one based in Penrith. This is in regards to the insurance broker. And ADM Technical Terraforming is saying, yes, for business members, it's actually $10 cheaper on the website. So if you want to save yourself some money, come and do it. And we've got annual options, which also save you money. So if you do it annually, you only end up paying for 10 months instead of 12. Or you can do the free one if you want to just have a look and see and just start on the public chats. So there you go. But so it is still worthwhile going in. Go check it out. Plenty of stuff on there. All right. I don't want to hold up our guest any longer. I want to make sure that we get the most out of Brendan while we've got him. I'm just scrolling down to my questions. I can feel my back locking up already. Let's go. GDX Positrax is saying, ADM said he will Oh, ADM and GDX Positracks are going to get in touch very shortly. Very, very good. That's what we're here for, man. Connecting the industry. That's the whole point of it. All right. And look, maybe if this gets, if it really takes off, I might consider getting an app, because making an app is not a cheap thing and it involves a lot of work. So I'm sure we won't even get to that point, though. Not that we won't get to it. I'm sure we won't need it, because it actually works pretty good. So go and have a look. Earthworks Hub community. Check it out. Go. You can jump on free to get a feel for it. And then if you want to upgrade, you can do that later too. Beautiful. All right. Luke Fitzner. How are you, legend? All right. Now, Cameron Capel is here. Hello. Brendan. Let me find Brendan. I will bring him on. The man.
Go.
The man, the myth,
Hey.
the legend. How you going, man?
Oh, I'm not bad. How are you?
Good, good, good. Let me just adjust my phone a bit. Hang on, hang on. It keeps bloody dropping down lower and lower. Ah, there we go. That's better. Lordo's digging. How are you, man?
Pretty good, mate.
Good to see you on here. So I was just starting to tell people where you were from, but you know what? I might just save that and let you tell us. So, tell us a little bit about your business. So, where you're from. Tell us about Lawton Earthworks, like, where you started and what you actually do.
Yeah. So I live in a little town called Drillery, Riverina, in New South Wales, about 40 minutes north of the Vic border, straight up from Tokemore, if everyone knows where that is. Based from here, sort of travel anywhere up to about 4 hours from here, sort of thing. It's we do agricultural farm work. That's sort of where I started when we moved here. I'm from Melbourne originally. We grew up in the eastern suburbs. Grew up in Mooroolbark, so moved up here 2011 and bought my own digger in sort of March 2012. It was I moved up here to drive tractors and trucks and headers and go farming because I was sick of traffic in Melbourne, and we thought we'd go and try something different.
Yeah.
And I wasn't here very long, and I was delivering rice, actually standing in the queue there one day waiting to tip some rice off, and few of the local farmers said to me, "Oh, what were you doing in Melbourne?" And told them what I was doing, and they said, "Oh, well, you should buy a digger because we could never get a contractor here." So that's how it kicked off, 2012, and here we are today, I suppose. It started with a little Cabelco SK120 Mark V, the old helicopter cab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my introduction into owning your own stuff. It was I see Tom Gillespie there. Yeah, he'd been correct. It was his rice, actually. It was, Tom. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tom's father, actually.
Yeah.
Got to take my hat off to Les. Les was an integral part to me getting going. I bought the machine out. Well, not outright. I had to get a loan for it, which that was that was an introduction into the finance world when you're trying to buy something old, and it was a 1998 model, so it had a bit of age on it, and they wouldn't lend me any money. I went through a heap of finance brokers, and they just started off at the bank. They said no, and then sort of went along, and I ended up finding a guy in Shepherd and was happy to do it. But I can't remember the interest rate now, but it was very high for back then. 3 years only, couldn't do it any longer than that. So,
Yeah.
but it was a $40,000 machine too at the time. It's not like it was 200 grand. So that got me going. I bought my own float because up here you can't just get a float at the drop of a hat. So, to be competitive and make sure that you can turn up at your customer tomorrow, you've got to have your own. And Thomas's father, Les, he did a deal with him to sort of hired a truck off him, a prime mover, and sort of cut that out by doing some work on his farm. So it works very well. I'm still very appreciative of it to this day. It's I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for that man. So it's good family, good country people, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity to get going. So
Yeah, that's good, man. It's good. It's good to see that people are still willing to be helpful. That's really good, and hopefully it's still like that. Do you reckon it's still a little bit like that? Do you reckon there's people out there that will do it nowadays?
Oh, look, I think so. I mean, one thing I've found, or one thing I've sort of noticed in my time, I think, and it's Australia as a whole. It's not just locally or you know down in city areas. I think it's everywhere. Everyone's real quick to lift you up. They want to help you get going. They want to see you get going. But once you start to sort of succeed a bit and start to look like you're doing all right for yourself, they'll start cutting you down. Oh, we don't get that guy. He's 2D. Oh, look at the new car he bought. That's no good. Just that sort of stuff. It's people. I don't know what it is. That tall poppy syndrome in Australia is just a joke. Like the US is the complete opposite, and I much prefer that model. Pump everyone up. Look, we've all been caught up in it in one place or another. That we're quick to gossip with people or something like that. But as you get older, you sort of realise that it achieves nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney Rockwell was just saying you couldn't have said it any better. Yeah, it's so true, man. And I think even Sunshine Finance Brokers, who joined us a bit earlier, Joel was saying the same thing. Yeah, people can be quick to cut you down when you're starting to succeed because everyone's good to boost you up, and then when you're doing really, really well, they get almost like a little bit sort of jealous or something. I don't know what it is. Just it's funny, and like you say, you finally think you reward yourself and get like a better car or something, and next minute you're getting bagged for showing off or having too much money or I don't know. It's
Oh,
weird, man.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I've got F trucks, or I've had a couple of F trucks now, and when I got my first one, which is a bit over 10 years ago, it was a 5-year-old truck with 100,000 Ks on it. I paid 100 grand for it, and at the time, I compared that to buying a 200 series and chopping it. Sorry to Jack Healy, but I'd never sit in a 79 in my life. Can't stand them.
Yeah.
But and for what I do too, if I go back to then quickly, I had a bogey axle float. So with a 12-ton machine, it was fine. But then after 2 years, I upgraded to a 200-8 Cabelco. Bought it second hand, had 1,300 hours on it. But because I had a bogey float and it was short, I basically couldn't carry attachments. So what I sort of looked at doing was I could either go up and buy a bigger float, which at the time they were holding their money pretty well. So that sort of wasn't quite in my budget. I needed a new car, or well, you could say I didn't need one, but I wanted something a bit bigger, something a bit better on fuel, something that was more comfortable to drive, maybe go away in on the weekends, that sort of thing. So I sort of looked at all options and went, well, the 5-year-old F truck at 100 grand is probably not a bad option. It's going to tow the wheels off anything that I'm going to need to do. And it'll easily carry around 3 20-tonners buckets in a trailer when I need to. But there's a fella down the footy club there one day. I'm not real big into the footy club, but it was down there, and the old guy said to me, and he goes, that F truck you just bought, that's the worst thing you could have ever done.
Oh.
I sort of looked at him and thought, what the fuck are you on about?
Yeah.
Anyway, he sort of said, well, now that you've done that, everyone's going to think you're making too much money and you're charging too much. And he was 100% right.
Yeah.
If I could go back through my books, and the wife and I have spoken about this. I don't know if she's still on here or not, but
Yeah.
I reckon if we went back through the books and seen the customers that dropped off within 12, 18 months of that purchase, there'd be a good percentage, and probably be 25, 30% off the bat. Now, did it matter? Not really. Were they customers that I gave a shit about? Probably not. I treat every customer equally at the start, but over time they show their true colours as much as we all do. We're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
So they're probably customers that I didn't want anyway. It's I don't know why it's a thing here, but as soon as you buy a big ute or something, if someone sees you towing a boat down the road, I mean, there's a comment there one day. I was in the pub one night, a long, long time ago, and the bloke goes, "Oh, you're too dear, mate. You're too dear compared to the competition." And I know why you're doing it. You're doing it just so that you can pay for that boat that you've got. When hang on, clown, I had this boat before I even moved to Jerilderie. I had the boat when we had our caravan start at Lake Eildon. What the fuck are you on about?
Yeah.
But that's partly that small town mentality, but partly it's also, partly it is just Australian culture. I don't know why we do it, but there you go. Like,
Yeah.
it just is.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that. That's why I kept my Mitsubishi Triton for so many years, and then all my operators, they used to say, "Why don't you buy yourself a new car?" And I'm like, It's funny that you say that because I can't. I can't. If I go and turn up to a customer in, like you say, some bit like a big Ram, like a lot of guys on here I met have got big Rams and F-150s and 2500 Silverados and this and that, and I know here in Melbourne, as soon as you turn up with a half decent car, straight away the customers look at you a bit odd. You can get ones that actually might think, "Oh, this guy must be really good because he looks after
Yeah.
himself and that, so he must be good." But I think a lot more of them actually look at you and go, "Oh, here we go. This guy obviously makes a lot of money. He's killing it." And then they just look at you different, And then I don't know. That's why a lot of
Yeah,
guys. Yeah.
and
So
the thing too, like I bought mine for sort of 2 reasons. I wanted to be able to tow stuff. So rather than buying a whole new float, I wanted to be able to tow, you're talking a minimum it's sort of 2 ton, 2.5 ton to put a trailer. So I'd sort of looked at it and went, well, I need a trailer for other things anyway. So I need to get a trailer built. And I just sort of looked at it when there's a local engineering shop here in Finley who they build trailers, trays, that sort of stuff. And I went down and seen them. And at the time, I think I got quoted about 12 grand to build this fancy trailer. Like I've still got it. I use it all the time. I use it today to drop my little 2.8 ton digger off. It cost me a bit over 12 grand. It cost me about 16 in the end. But that trailer's bulletproof. Like it's still going. I've done so many miles with it. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And you sort of like I needed the F truck to do it because I wanted the 4.5 ton towing. So I used my ute. It's not a show pony. It's not I don't daily drive it at the moment. Since COVID, everyone talks about COVID, but since COVID, parts and availability on these things has become a bit of an issue. You can get anything you want, but it's the wait time that you might have to wait. So hitting a kangaroo or something like that, just going to a normal day job, it's it's a bit of a risk that I take. So I've got a 2004 BA Falcon Ute that I drive
Yeah.
as a daily if I don't need a towing, and then
Yeah.
it's and actually what ADM's just said there as well, it's actually heavy. It's classed as a light truck, more ute, so it's over 4.5 ton GBM. I've got a GBM upgraded. It's got full airbag suspension in it. It's rated for 5.8 tons, so you're technically limited to, well, basically zero. I think in New South Wales can be 0.02. The wife and I worked out there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're supposed to only do 100. So look, they got their place, and look where I live too. Look, I'm out in the bush. Like, I don't have to worry about parking on parking on anywhere is difficult, and the looks you get now are just like 10 years ago. You drive it anywhere, and people are looking, it's a bigger car, but no one thought much of it. Now, the looks you get pulling into car parks and that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder if it's worth having for just driving around. But when you tow, like even tonight, I got to go back to work tomorrow, back on the highway up the other side of Wagga. And I put the sifting bucket in the tub. Like if I had anything else, I'd be towing a trailer tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got it. It's
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I noticed when I was traveling now, if my car was any bigger, and where's Mobo? You were saying that now I'm a BYD almond latte drinker. Now, if I had anything bigger than the BYD, I would have struggled. Yeah, finding parking at any of the hotels. A lot of them were underground. Yeah, I would have really struggled. And then even like doing U-turns in their little reception areas where you come in, and they would have struggled. So yeah.
Oh well, DDT, like going up to DDT there back in April, where I stayed out right near where we had dinner on the Friday night. I parked in the back end of the car park, and I'm half off on the grass, right up against the back fence, as well out of the way as possible.
Yeah.
It's tight. Like you got to do 3-point turns to get around the corners half the time, and I mean I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me. Like it is it's just part of the course. Like once you've driven bigger trucks, like driving a ute, who cares? Like if you parked a semi and a float down a tight street or up a tight hill, or driving a ute in a car park's nothing, is it?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So you mentioned that you're in regional. So for you, it's probably not too bad unless you go to the shops and stuff like that. What are some of the other biggest challenges that you've got compared to someone that's out in the suburbs? I know you said
Um,
then you said something about the a bit earlier. You were talking about the floats aren't easy. What else is there? Atacama saying the Ram Wankers, he's got one. Yeah, that's what he's saying there. Yeah. So
Jacko's right too. It does turn better than a 79. I've done
even
that comparison with someone. Yeah.
it does. Yeah, I noticed when I was
Yeah.
in Jacko's 79, I actually realised there's not that much room in them. Like they look so big, but when you're inside, in the passenger seat, there's hardly any room. They're actually not that big inside.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, look, I've said this countless times to countless people. 79 Series Land Cruiser is the only thing that you can hop in Australia where you can go 100 kilometres an hour across a paddock and it won't fall apart. You can't do that in an F truck. Like for the money that they cost here, once you've sort of half pulled one apart, like I have, it's you're paying for a motor and a gearbox and a diff, and the rest of it is no better than a Ranger. Like the build quality of them is not that great, and you got to think too, like these F trucks and the Rams and the Silverados, like in the US, they're just like our Hiluxes and Rangers. So that's how they treat them and how they use them over there. Like they're built to a price, more or less. But here they're sold as a premium product, which yeah, well once you start looking and start pulling them apart, there ain't that much premium about them, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But
That's
yeah,
true.
to answer your question about other challenges, oh look, there's probably a few things that you can't just duck down to the local shop to get something. Like if you blow a hydraulic hose or something like that, I'm minimum I can go to Finley and get most of them fixed these days. The fella down there in the last sort of 5-6 years, he's really come up with his fittings and his hoses and all that. But if I go back 10 years ago, I blew a hose there. Well, here's a good little story for you.
Yeah.
My old 120, I got tasked with desilting a dam and hooking into it. I was halfway through it. I was sitting on a batter, like half in, because being a 12 tonner, you can only reach sort of 8.5 meters or so. So I'm down on the batter. I've already cleaned that bit out, but I'm on the angle. I'm out full stretch. And as I've gone to boom up, bang, hydraulic oil everywhere. It burst the dipper arm hose, the dipper arm hose on top of the cylinder, and it sprayed oil everywhere. Well, machine stopped, so I'm stuck on a battle like this with the thing out full stretch, stuck in the dam. I couldn't go anywhere.
Oh,
It was a nightmare. I had to be a monkey and climb up the boom with spanners and up and down, trying to get the right one. Then I couldn't get it undone because it had obviously been on there for 20 years. So it was a nightmare to undo. It fought me for an afternoon. Go down to Finley to get a hose done. And old mate goes, I haven't got 4-wire hose. I've only got 3. And I went, I can't put 3-wire hose on this thing. It'll go bang straight away. So down to the next spot, which was in Cobram. So Cobram's an hour from here. Call it an hour. Got a hose there, come back, put it on, literally started the machine, bang, hose blew. The hose come out of the ferrule of the crimp.
oh, didn't
So I'm
crimp
on
it
the
properly.
phone. No,
Oh,
I rang them up, said, hey man, this is no good. So I drove back down there again, got another hose made, turned around, drove back. So by this stage, I'm after lunch the next day, yeah. And second hose did the exact same thing. So I spat it and ended up having to go to Shepparton. I ended up going to GV Hydrolink in Shepparton to get a hose made. These guys just didn't know what they were doing. They just didn't know the crimping pressure required on the ferrule for that size hose. That's all it was. But
yeah.
they wouldn't admit it. They ended up taking I had to pay for it up front because no account then. So I had to pay for them up front. And yeah, anyway, I ended up getting my money back, which was all right, but I didn't get the half, 3/4 of a day. Well, I lost a full day in the end because by the time I went to Shep and then back again and then got it on and going, it was dark the next night. So not to mention the extra 20 or 30 litres of hydraulic oil that went everywhere as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so challenges like that, they're not as bad now. Like I said, my man in Finley, he's good. He's generally got enough to sort of fix you up. But in saying that too, these days you got later model machinery, so blowing hoses like that's not really a thing.
Yeah, I noticed that
You
too.
know,
As I upgraded, I had less breakdowns, so I
yeah,
didn't have to be as much of a mechanic as before. But yeah, when you're first starting out, you get older stuff, and then yeah, you got to learn quickly how to do everything. I suppose
absolutely.
that's the thing. Yeah, like when you do live that far away, you can't really just like run down the street. I think we all forget about that. You know, you got to always try and figure out things that it's going to take you hours to get something, not just a few minutes. Can't just
Yeah,
run down,
like
run
even
around.
yeah, we did an aircon compressor back in February on the 250-10 we got, and fortunately Albury had one, but it's still, it's still 2 hours over, 2 hours back, and then you've got to wait for the aircon guy or your auto elect to come and fit it. Like, so we lost a week out of that machine in February this year because my main auto elect was away for a week, which he's entitled to a holiday and probably needs to have them. And then I couldn't get anyone else to come because trying to get someone out of Albury or Shepparton or even Griffith to come down to us, it's it's hard. Like it's hard. I see ADM asking there about spare hoses. I used to carry quick hitch hoses. I used to have spares of them. But outside of that, no, not really. But yeah, I don't need to these days. It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, yeah. And what about work-wise? How is that different in regional compared to, residential or suburban places? Do you guys have to like fight for work there, or do you guys have like a special relationship where you sort of don't step on each other's toes? Or how does it work? Like, or is there still
Um,
plenty of work there?
Look, it ebbs and flows. I mean, our work now has changed a little bit. Like when I first started, um, it was all agricultural work. It was all farm work. So back then, I won't get too political on this podcast. We might save politics for a second round, Ivan. But
Yeah,
a little quick one is the Murray-Darling Basin Plan has been an absolute ballser for irrigation communities. So a lot of the excavator work that we do out here revolves around irrigation. So that's changed a little bit. I don't know if Tom's still on here, but Tom can talk to that very well too. Yeah, the water policy in Australia and the way that we're treating farmers now it's a joke. It really is. And they claim it's for the environment, but anyway, like I said, I won't get too political on that. But so that work's changed a little bit. We don't do as much of that work anymore as we used to.
yeah,
You said at the start there about my videos on Instagram and that. A lot of those are working on the highway.
yeah. I
So
noticed
when
that.
I was in Melbourne before we moved up here, I sort of got my start. This will make a few guys happy in here. I actually started on a 1.7. It's very popular in this group. The little small machines.
Yeah,
And there might be a couple of guys in here that might remember a company called Mini Digger Wholesale. Yeah, Scotty that used to run that, he sort of gave me my start more or less. He had a little 1.7, and I don't know, some guys might remember too. There's a little dingo machine called a Viking loader. You ever seen a Viking loader, Olive? Or
is that I just know the dingo machines, but I don't know. Is there a certain type? Is there or
yeah, so Scotty teamed up with a hydraulic engineer, and they built their own machine called a Viking loader, more or less equivalent to your K94 Dingo. It was a bit narrower. It was a bit shorter. Like its wheelbase was a bit shorter. It was a bit narrower, but it had all its weight down low. Had 4 drive motors in it, and it had a 2.2 meter lift. Like it lifted very high. So when I started with Scott, they just built their first prototype. So I was sort of given the task of learning and sort of giving this thing a run for its money. So yeah, I don't even know what happened to it in the end. I'm pretty sure he sold it out to Wackanoosan or sold it. It got sold out to someone, but there was a few of them getting around. They were orange and black. So yeah, Scotty gave me start there, and then from there I went over to Adelaide and did a big rail job over there for Balderstone. with his machines. I went over there doing service location. So that was sort of it was a bloody good gig. It taught me a lot. I met some good people over there while I was there. I got thrown in the deep end a bit. I was supposed to be there for about 8 or 9 weeks, or about 8 weeks originally. And I ended up there 3 weeks, and I'd had my bit of the job done. I was supposed to go along with the sucker truck and expose the signal line that runs from Adelaide to Alice Springs and then up to Darwin. The project was it was on the Gawler main line. So I was supposed to be there for 8 weeks doing this service location, and me and the guy driving the sucker truck, we got it done in 3 weeks.
Oh.
So I thought I was killing it, and we were patting each other on the back going, how good are we doing? Well, my boss sort of spat it because he thought it was job over and me come home. So he thought he'd had 8 weeks in the book, which, for a little 3-ton tipper, 1.7 and a dingo, he was making good coin on it too, I believe. I don't know the actual figures, but I know it was a lot better than what we were charging in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So he sort of got all angry at me about it, and I went and seen I was staying with one of the foremen and the superintendent on the job. I was staying in the house with them. So the chats with a few beers and the fire and the barbecue at night sort of said, well, no, you're not going home, mate. What do you mean? You're not going anywhere. We'll find you something to do, don't worry. Well,
Nice.
yeah. A week later, they put me in charge of the part of the box out of the main line, and I was in charge of 6 30-tonners and about 20 tippers.
Oh.
I had no business being in charge of any of that. I didn't. The biggest machine I'd driven up until that point was a 12-tonner.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, but I ran with it. Like, it's, I just ran with it. I suppose if I go back a little step further, probably give a little bit of context to that. I'm actually a plasterer by trade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've sort of worked in the commercial building industry most of my life. I started my apprenticeship in 2004, and the company I worked for, which was called Consolidated Ceilings back then, I'm still mates with my old boss. He's an absolute gentleman. I've got Craig to thank for a lot of things, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't from some of the learnings from Craig. But yeah, I ended up as a supervisor for him, and working on large construction sites, and it was bloody good. It'd probably upset him a little bit if I sort of told a bit of truth that I spent a lot of time looking at what the diggers were doing, and maybe not necessarily focusing 110% on what I should have been focusing on. But good on you, Jack. No worries.
What's Jack saying? Oh, it makes sense. You're going to hit like a plaster on the radio, yeah. Oh, bloody Jack.
I fucking hate plastering, eh? Cannot stand it. The sooner I can get away from it, the better. Mind you, I mean, I was more of a chippy, to be fair. Like, we were throwing up metal stud walls, partitions, suspended ceilings, hanging doors, windows. Like, I actually didn't do a lot of plastering on the job. Like, there was qualified plasterers that did that. So, but yeah, so I ended up, Craig put me in charge of some jobs later in my apprenticeship, and so I sort of knew time management. I knew how to, sort of thought I knew how to instruct people. But yeah, trying to look at things and go, how come that digger's doing a lot more than the digger in front? What's going on here? Like, it was a bloody eye opener. I learned a lot. I ended up there for 4 months, since 15, 16 weeks. It was a great job. It was brilliant. And then, come back to Melbourne, but work was quiet back in Melbourne. I left Scotty. I sort of quit. Him and I butted heads a bit. And, we sort of didn't really leave amicably. Someone else can say that word for me.
Amicably, whatever it is.
That's the one. The one. Didn't leave on good terms. Let's say that. Which to this day, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for that. I could have handled that better at the time, but he could have handled it better on his end too. It just, I was sort of told things that, like I was sort of promised things that maybe were never going to come to fruition. And when I asked for a pay rise after what I'd been doing over there in Adelaide, it was met with, oh, well, I've got to see, we've got to see if you're sort of up to the standard of getting a pay rise. I'm like, well, hang on a minute, I've just gone back to supervising a job on a big job. What are you talking about anyway? So yeah, that went pear-shaped and I left. But yeah, anyway, that's sort of how come we ended up here. It's
Yep.
yeah, it's been a journey and it's still going.
It's still going, man. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So you mentioned before that we caught up at DDT. So
Yep,
this year. So you've been a member with Earthworks Hub for a while and stuff, but then we actually got to see
yep.
each other properly on face to face at DDT, and that was pretty cool.
It
And
was, yeah. Look,
yep,
I went to DDT. Oh, geez, I reckon it was about 2017, 2018, somewhere there. Yeah, come up and had a look back then, and haven't been since because I really I've been doing what I've been doing. I've had no need to go. Just didn't see the point. But then,
yep,
yeah, thanks to Earthworks Hub, it's networking is a thing, and I need to meet more like-minded people. Like I'm pretty isolated out here sometimes. It's feels like a very small world out here where we are, but
yep,
yeah, it's been good to chat to some people that yeah,
yes.
like-minded and doing the same thing. It's been good.
Yeah, then that's the whole point of it. Yeah, and then I was actually good. It was good for me because we went out for dinner and that as well, and I loved just seeing everyone chatting that are from all different parts of Australia.
Yeah, it was good.
Like
Yeah,
like
it was
you've all
great.
known each other for years. You know what I mean? So it's actually it's a good sign that it's working. Yeah, connecting everyone is actually working. So and like you
And
say,
it's
it can
quite
be
and it's
isolating.
quite
Eh?
funny. Jacko said to me there, he goes, "Oh, it's nice to put a face to the name," and I went, "Oh, that's right. We actually haven't met face to face. We've talked on the phone countless hours." Like, but yeah, it sort of felt like you were catching up with mates. It was bloody good. Yeah, no, DDT was really enjoyable.
Well, that's it, man. That's it. Well, some good news for everyone. You're going to be all the first to know. I'm doing another stand next year, so I'm having
That'd be
another
good.
stand again. So everyone's welcome to come back. Now I've got a bit of pressure to try and beat this year. So we'll see how we go. I've got stuff that I want to do. So that is I've got plenty of time now anyway. So I've got to organise some special things to do while we're there, but also some more dinner events and that. Yeah, and ADM saying, yeah, it was the greatest meeting you at dinner. He learned heaps from you that night as well. So he's talking about you there, man. Very good, very
So I
good.
appreciate that.
That's it. Little Big Migs is giving the thumbs up. Yeah, no, it's been good. And that's, like I said, that's the whole point of Earthworks Hub, bringing everyone together. Now, speaking of that, I see you got a couple of bits of merch on there. So you
No,
obviously
I
have,
have. I spoke
yeah,
to Daniel on when did I speak to Daniel? Thursday or Friday?
let's start with
And
that. Let's start with MOBA. So tell us about MOBA.
let's start with
What have
So
you got?
so I've got well currently we've got 3 machines with Mova in it. I've got 2 more or less 2 permanent 3D machines, and the other one is it's just 3D ready. So I can take the mushrooms, the receiver, and the USB stick from one machine and put it into the other, so I can have 3D in any of the 3 machines at the moment. I've known Daniel for it'd be about 20 years. So when Daniel was building lasers back in the day, when I was in the building game, there's a couple of guys. They're actually stubbies come to work for us, and they had these fancy green lasers. I mean, fucking, what's this green laser? You know, they went to it, and I'll go and see this guy. So I did. I went and seen Daniel, and we bought a new laser for the company, and yeah, and I kept in contact the whole way through. And then when I moved up here, I needed to buy my own laser. So back on the MCE back then,
Yeah.
and he sold me a laser, and and actually while I was there, we got chatting about machine control and that back then. So this is back in this would be about 2014. This was. Um, he had an old demo 2D system, and it was real old school, like no fancy display and all of that. It just had a couple of numbers on a little yellow box and a couple of up and down arrows and a laser receiver that you stick on the boom on the stick, sorry. And I just went, yeah, I need that. So yeah, we did a deal, and I put that on my 200-8, and yeah, that changed the game. Look, everyone else up here, what you used to do is you'd weld a bit of 2-inch square tube to your mud bucket, and then you'd stick a magnetic receiver. So if I go back that far, a lot of guys had the Spectra laser receivers.
Yep.
So they'd just magnet that to the pole on their bucket. And if you're cleaning a drain or a channel or something like that, or you're digging fresh ones, that's how you keep your levels. Yeah, the easy dig. Yeah, that's right, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. So I took home this crate full of stuff, and when I'm going to change the game here, I'm going to have me laser on the bloody stick. I'll be able to sit anywhere on any angle, put the dipper arm straight up and down on any turn angle I want to be on, and I'll know my level. And I did. I was the only guy in this area that had anything like that. GPS was really only getting going, so well, it had obviously been around for a fair bit longer than that, but up here, no one was using it. No one had GPS around here at all. It was, the magnetic receiver on the pole on the bucket was fancy technology, So as much as the Easy Dig was an old system, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So when the time come in 2019, so into 2020, I just went, if I'm going to stay ahead of the game, I've got to go to 3D. So yeah, Daniel might be able to comment there exactly when MOBA became, or MCE became MOBA. I can't remember now, but yeah, straight on to Daniel, and yeah, away we went. So 3D system on that, on the Doosan that we've got, and yeah, haven't looked back. I'd used a couple of other systems in a couple of other machines. I sort of went and visited a couple of people over the journey that had Trimble Earthworks and that sort of thing. And there you go, mid 2018.
Yep.
So I'd seen what Earthworks was like, and I'd seen the old GCS 9000 series screens as well. So I sort of knew a bit about GPS, but not a hell of a lot. And yeah, nowadays I wouldn't have a digger without it. And you've seen my videos. I do a lot of infield design. I just constantly sitting there thinking of ways that I can draw something in the machine to make my job better and make it make it look more professional, put different angles in it, put curves in it. I love GPS. It's fantastic. It's
How did you learn everything? Did you just pick it all up yourself, just trial and error?
pretty much, yeah, because there's not really any. This is probably something. Daniel and I have spoken about this before. Trying to have like a training type system on how to use it would have been handy. But there's probably like between Jörg and Sam telling you little things, and then you try things yourself and go, well, that didn't work. So you start again. And yeah, I'll be honest, it can look like you're wasting time. Like if you're like, say for instance, I'm going to go and dig a channel out in the middle of a paddock. It's just a simple V ditch with a flat bottom. I just go up, walk down to one end, mark a spot on the ground, walk up to the other end, mark a spot on the ground, draw a line between the two, and then make my model to suit, use that line, and away you go. You're done. Well, when I first started doing it, it might have taken me 2 hours to work out to get the geometry right, work out exactly where the line was, how to do it, and then you work out that you can change the slope on the line as you're putting the line in. So things like that, you can, and then you can go into your log system and you can change the heights of your point that you've marked. So if you go and mark a point and then mark a point, you can go, oh, that's at ground level, but I actually want to be half a metre down. Well, you can go in and change the height of that point so it is half a metre down, and then just draw your line. So I've learnt all that just by using the system. It's I know Jacko and I have had a few chats over the journey that, oh, how'd you do that? Well, I don't bloody know. I just punch it in and just do it.
Yeah.
So, trying to teach someone how to do what I do, it is partly why I'm trying to do some more videos on it to show people, this can be done. And at least then they can go back and they can pause the video and go, oh, yeah, I'll do that step. Then they can do the next step. So, yeah, if anyone ever wants a hand with something like that, just yell out. I'm happy to help if people do want a bit of assistance. Like I wouldn't say I'm a guru, but I know a bit about it to do what I need it to do anyway. And then look, there's stuff that, like Daniel and I were chatting Friday, and there was actually something that I didn't know. And yeah, there's little things that you're always learning as you're going. So, but yeah, self-taught's the answer to that one.
Self-taught. Yeah. And what about like help from Daniel or Mobo in general? Like how is it with them? I suppose you
Oh,
can just call them up anytime or
I'll I'll blow his horn a bit for a minute. He fantastic, mate. Absolutely fantastic. You ring up, you get someone. I bought a grader. I bought a grader 4 years ago, and that all went pear-shaped for a number of reasons, which, yeah, anyway, that's another story for another time. It had a trimble system in it, and trying to get someone to help me. I knew what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it. Trying to find someone and get someone to come out and assist me with it, it was like pulling teeth. Like, you got to get SciTech out of bloody Canberra. They were the closest. Even though we're actually technically closer to Melbourne. Like we're 4 hours north of Melbourne, but we're 4.5 hours to Canberra. But because we're across the border, you've got to go through New South Wales. Couldn't get anyone to come and help.
oh
It was a nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare. Whereas at least when you ring MOBA, if they don't answer straight away because they're busy, and as time goes on, they are getting busier because there's more and more systems getting out there, which is great. The more people that buy these things, MOBA the world, the better it's going to be for everybody because we can all sit here and talk about it. But yeah, look, Sam at MOBA, fantastic. I ring him up, or I've got his mobile number. I ring him on that. He doesn't answer. That's fine. He's busy, but he rings me back. He'll convert a file for me. If I've got a little silly question, he'll answer it. Like, no, the customer service is second to none. I can't say a bad word about MOBA. Like I said, I have known Daniel for a while, so I am a little bit biased.
yeah.
But no, great company, and yeah, the customer service is a big thing these days.
Yeah.
And particularly with this technology stuff, like, look, I'm a little bit technology illiterate too in some ways. Like I'm not that. Some ways I'm getting left behind a little bit. Like the wife and I chat about this every now and then, and I do some dumb shit sometimes on the computer. And she's like, "Why are you doing that?" I don't know. It's just how. She's like, "No, do this." Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So
Yeah.
trying to get people to help you, particularly regionally, is difficult. Like when you're not in a big city, you need companies like MOBA that are willing to help you no matter where you are and what your problem is. It's definitely a big thing.
Yeah. What about your customers? How do they see you compared to others now? So, does that help you get more work, or do people recognize you for that now?
In terms of the GPS side of it, the road work I do, you're not on the job without GPS. So that's you've got to have it. Our agricultural work, we've got one employee at the moment, Callum, great guy, does a great job. He's learning every day as he goes. When you can go to a job and you can not have to have a labourer there walking around with a laser level, it saves the farmer. It saves whoever you're working for. It doesn't matter whether you work for a farmer or you're working for a builder. If you can, and Jacko's proved this countless times too, you don't need some guy walking around with a staff. That's real. If we're being realistic for a minute, those people, those labourers, they're costing you minimum $50 to $60 an hour minimum.
Yeah.
Well, they might be only getting 30, but by the time we add all the extras, they're costing $60 an hour. So
Yeah.
to pay us an extra $25, $30 an hour, it's money well spent. Plus, we don't have the downtime too of stopping and waiting for old mate to put his vape down or put his phone down or whatever other bullshit thing he's got to then come and take your height. And then he's standing there with the staff on the piss like this.
Yeah.
And, hey, mate, just stand up a little bit. By the time he does that, you would have done 5 buckets
Yeah.
with a GPS on. So it's a no-brainer. It really is. And for doing detailed work, like if you've got a design to work to instead of freehanding it, you look way more professional. I know there's the argument out there, and we could probably talk about this at length too about, GPS is making operators dumb. Well, I call bullshit on that because you've still got to pull the sticks
Yes.
to match what's on your screen. The other hard thing is you actually also have to know how to look at the screen and know where to put your bucket relative to what the model's telling you too. And the more intricate the design, the harder that is. So while in one hand, it's taken away the line of sight, being able to pick a level by eye, and I'll put my hand up there. I actually struggle these days to pick a level by eye now because I'm so used to looking at the screen. But you can watch my videos and that. I can do work now that I could never do by eye. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. The technology is definitely more use having it than not.
Yeah.
Look, there is some jobs where it probably is overcapitalizing by trying to use it. But yeah, I don't think so. It's worth its weight in gold. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you mentioned something before about a Doosan. So what machines have you got? Did you say you got a Doosan as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Doosan. I've got a DX 180 LC, narrow track.
Yep.
So it's only 2.5 meters wide, 18-ton machine. We've got we've got the little 2.8-ton Cabelco, so affectionately known as the spoon.
Yeah.
The teaspoon holds its own when it needs to. We've then got I've got a 135-2, which it's a 2007 model, which I'll tell you what, it's been a bulletproof machine, that Cabelco.
Yep.
I've got a 250-10 as well, and then 12 months ago I got hold of a 2011 328 DLCR Cat. I like my zero swing machines. I know some people hate them. I would just not have a machine with an arse any day of the week. Give me a zero swing any day. Maybe it's getting a bit lazy too, but I'm sick of looking over my shoulder to work out where my bum is all the time. It's kind of tired of doing that. So yeah, that's what we got currently. The 135's got a X18 steel wrist on it and the GPS. The Doosan's got a X20 steel wrist and the GPS. 250-10's got a Gardner tilt and hitch and a thumb grab, and as well as a GPS. And then the Cat, the Cat's in the throes of it's getting upgraded at the moment.
All right.
It's been fighting me mainly because it's had a bit of a rough life. The old girl I've worked out. It's yeah, I don't know if you've seen my video there a week or so back. I had to cut the H-link off the machine because it was bent and banana.
Yep.
So some guru had been on there before I got hold of it and had been a bit rough with her. So, but yeah, anyway, it's yeah, that's what we've got at the moment. And then
Yeah.
you've got, you know, there's a wide array of attachments and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure I've got the attachment numbers that Jack's got, but I'm not far off him.
Yeah. Well, do you have? So you got so many machines. How many operators? Because you just said you got one, but is there more, or is it just the one operator?
No, it's only me and Callum at the moment.
Yeah. So they just
Yeah,
sit idle. What do they do in the meantime? They just sit idle, or what do you do?
yeah, they become shed ornaments.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they sit there waiting for someone to come and play with them. Yeah, look, it's
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, have you got any intentions to put more people on, or is it just been that you're not really up for it, or what's the go?
Look, I could write a book on operators, and maybe for this chat we'll keep it down a little bit, but it's very hard to get people out here to start with. Like being regional makes it difficult to begin with. You don't have your pick of hundreds of people to start with. Then couple that with the type of work we do. Agricultural work to the outside looking in doesn't seem that difficult, but I've said it to quite a few people. It's actually some of the most difficult work you'll ever do for a couple of reasons. The main one is you're the direct conduit to the customer paying the bill, which is a bit similar to residential, to be fair. But the difference with a farmer, though, the farmers know what they need They don't necessarily know how to achieve it. So they know what they want, but you've got to try and interpret what they think they want versus how it needs to be done. For a lot of people, that is quite difficult. So you've got to be, same as the residential guys, you've really got to be that, your customer service has got to be, it's high on your priority list. I've always tried to pride myself on doing the best for the customer. Now, sometimes that makes me butt heads with people. I butted heads with a guy a long, long time ago now. I was desilting a drain, so pulling weeds and pulling mud out. And he said to me, just dig it out and just throw it to the side. And I'm going, no, I can't just throw it to the side, mate. I'm not leaving a motocross track. I'll leave you something flat that you can drive over later. Because what happens is farmers get busy, they leave, the weeds grow, and then all of a sudden there's fucking, if there's choppy sea in there and some bloke goes to drive something through there later, what do you think happens?
Yeah.
And if they break something, well, that's cost them more money. But trying to show people, I knew I could do stuff efficiently enough compared to what I'd seen around here. But trying to tell your customer that and then show your customer that when they think they want it a particular way, it's hard. Like it's very hard. And then you've also got it's the wide range of tasks that you're given. So, okay, you might get tasked with cleaning a channel out. Well, the challenge of cleaning a channel out, you've got to take the weeds, but you can't take too much dirt. You start taking too much dirt, you're digging holes in it, which grows more weeds because then it doesn't drain properly.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to take the root matter of the plants that are growing there and just the silt. You don't want to be digging the floor and taking out, 100 mil of the floor. You want that's got to stay there. So then you got that. Then you might be desilting a drain, similar sort of process, but it might be deeper, it might be wider. Then you might be putting in irrigation outlets. It could be a flat style Padman stop, which is in a channel bank. You could be putting in a pipe crossing under their driveway, or what we call a channel check, just to hold the water up in the channel so the water level builds up higher. Then they let it go down to the lower section. Then they'll go and ask you to pull a tree down. Well, there's guys that have never touched a tree in their life. They might know how to, they might know how to do a road box out, but go and ask them to pull a tree down that's bloody, 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard work. You've got to know so many different facets of driving a digger to be able to do that agricultural work. It's
to put an operator in there and expect him to be able to work with the customer in all those facets, they're probably going to freak out. and that's why I suppose
I had one guy who did. He reckoned he made himself physically ill thinking about how he was going to try and get the job done because he just had no idea. And he was a guy that had been driving a digger for 10 years.
Yeah.
But he'd come from doing civil type work where he always had someone in charge of him. Look, that's one of the big things too. You don't have someone standing there going, hey mate, just dig a bit there, scratch a bit there. Can you put that pile over there? You got to think for yourself, and you've got to know what you're doing. Because old mate farmer, he stands back and goes, he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, but he can't tell you what to do either.
Yeah, I know. They can just see it. Yeah.
They can see that what you're doing is not efficient and that's not right, but they can't tell you how to do it any better themselves. Yeah. So you've got to try and work that out. I learned that very, very quickly. It was, you had to learn quickly because, probably one of the other difficult things too is, and I guess this is a reflection of Australia, full stop. You don't hear when you've done a bad job either. But they won't rush up to the door and I've had one guy who does. Yeah. But most of them, you need to check in with them. You got to go, hey, you happy with this? I see Tom there, the old while you're here. Yes. Yeah, the while you're here jobs, they're look, the while you here, hey, the while you're here jobs, they fill your bank account too, yeah.
They do. Geez, unless you hit something and then you're like, I shouldn't have done that bloody job. Yeah, I wasn't even meant to do that. Yeah.
That's part of it. But part of the other problem is I always tried to be honest with my customer. they'll ring, they'll say, "Hey man, I got this to do." Yeah, no worries. When can you be here? Oh, well, I reckon give us 4 or 5 days. Well, 4 or 5 days had passed, and then the old while you're here job start.
Yeah.
And then you ring an old mate going, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, but I'm still here. I haven't." But then you ring, you never really know what the person on the other end of the phone's thinking. Are they thinking, "Shit, this guy's taking forever. He told me it was a 4-day job. Now he's there for 6. Geez, do I actually want him on my job?" Or are they going, "Oh, he bloody flat out lied to me. He told me what I wanted to hear, thinking he was going to get here earlier." Like, you just don't know. And I still try to be honest. You try and give a time frame, but things happen, things blow out. Nowadays I have a little bit of trouble with um, road work. Being a civil construction job, yourself, I've like there's a program there, and the digger's an integral part of that job now, and you can't just leave. Like, you can't just go, "Hey man, I just got to go and shoot off to Farmer Brown and do a job for 2 days. I'll be back." You can't do that. You've got to be there. So you think you've got a time frame, and this happens to me a lot, unfortunately, where you sort of go, "Oh, yeah, the job's going to be 4 weeks," and you get told that, and then things happen, a bit of wet weather. There might be delays of some description, and all of a sudden you're there an extra week. It's happened to me this week. I was only supposed to go up to the job where I messaged you the other day. I was only supposed to be there this week, just gone. But the amount of work there that's to be done to make the whole job proper, I'm going to be now there all this week.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to go to a job I was supposed to be doing a job tomorrow. Callum's now going to do that. I was supposed to be doing a job Wednesday. I've had to put that off till next Monday. And look, there's every chance that if I get there tomorrow and they had too much rain, I might not be doing a hell of a lot tomorrow. I don't know yet. And you can cop that too. Like, you can roll in at 8 o'clock. You can roll in there at 6:30 in the morning, and it pisses down at 8 o'clock, and you lose
Yeah.
the day.
It's true.
Well, you didn't know that yesterday. So yeah, it trying to balance that, being honest with people, and getting there when they want you there is it's quite difficult. So,
It is.
and that's why it's hard to get operators, because you've got to be able to do such a broad range of operating, and you've got to know how to pull a tree down. You've got to know how to lay a pipe. You've got to know how to de-silt a channel without taking too much out. You've got to know how to dig on grade. There's a lot of guys out there that call themselves operators that can't seem to manage to tell where the cutting edge is. Like, the farm work's hard. Anyway,
It's true. I've
quite
done
hard
a
it is.
done a fair bit like that as well, and I find that as an owner operator, I had to fumble my way through at the start too. Because like you say, you turn up to a residential job, and not only are you there to, I don't know, just scrape a bit of the grass off so they can put some new lawn on there. Then they're like, "Oh, can you dig me a trench here? Dig me this." Then the concrete will turn up. "Oh, while you're here, can you dig all the driveway out for me? Oh, can you box this out?" Next minute you're doing everything, and then they're like, "Oh, while you're there, can you go in the backyard and dig out a pool?" And then you just
Yeah.
gotta learn to do everything, and just fumble your way through, and then, like you
And
said,
then what about the times where you go to do a job and the customer says, "Oh, I just want you to scrape that dirt off there and just put it over there, and dig that stump out and move that there." And then the concreter turns up and he goes, "Why the fuck did you put all that there?
yeah,
I got to work there. That's in my way." And you
yeah,
go, "Well, the customer wanted me to do that."
yeah,
It's
yeah, that happens.
the old customer. What's that saying? The customer's always right. Well, no, they're not, but they're paying the bills, so you've got to do what they ask.
Yeah, and I think going back to what you said about the operators, I found the same thing. Like, they wouldn't know to give the customer another option. They just think, if the customer wants me to do this, I'll do that. I better make him happy and make the boss happy and do it. They don't realize that they're actually boxing themselves into a corner, or, like you say, putting material where they're not meant to. So they think they've done a good job, and then next minute the other trades turn up, or the customer decides that they've realized it's not a good idea anymore. They blame your operator, and then the poor guy, you're ringing him up, telling him off, and he thinks he's done a good job. So
Oh,
it's not easy, because they don't know how to tell the customer, "Hang on a minute, no, I think it's better if we do it this way." They just think, "Oh, I better do what he says." So unless you're the boss, it's different. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the other layer of complication to it as well, isn't it? Like, you've got, they're there directly interacting with each other, and the person that your company is working for, that is paying the bill, they're telling your guy who's working for you what they want done. Now that's cool. That's what needs to happen because they're there face to face. But then your operator's then stuck in a bit of a bad situation where he wants to do the best thing by what the customer says. But if what the customer's asking him to do is not how we use our machines, or, you know, hey man, I don't want you doing, all right, let's say, look, I'll try and keep this simple because I can talk about other things for hours too. But let's say we're digging near a water pipe, and I tell the guy, my operator, look, I know he's not that experienced, so I'll go, I don't want you to dig within half a meter of a water pipe. And the customer goes, no, just dig around it and expose it. Your boss does. Well, what does the guy do? Does he do what the customer tells him, or does he do what he knows his boss wants him to do?
Yes.
That you're playing that game all the time when you've got an operator working for you. And look, it creates a level of stress as well. Like, I'll quickly touch on trucks. Like we've got 2 trucks, 2 floats, a semi tipper. Every time the truck drives out of the gate and it ain't me driving it, I'm as nervous as shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the back of my head every day that you're just going, geez, if something happens here, it's my livelihood gone, and it's completely out of your control. Like trucks are a nightmare with the NHBR and the charter responsibility and all that. Now it's, for a small company, that sort of things is an absolute headache and a proper risk. It is very risky for us. Like Tactical saying there, ego doesn't help. Yeah, he's right.
That's right.
Ego doesn't help. I've had guys that, I don't know how to fucking do that, and they go and cock it up, and then they look stupid. Your company looks stupid, and your customers going, it's not what I asked for.
Yeah.
You've just wasted my time.
And
So no one wins.
And who's going to pay for this? They'll be saying, and you're going, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly right. I will touch on the ego thing though. I think you've got to have a healthy level of ego, I reckon, to be a business owner, to own your own show. You do have to have some ego and some arrogance, but you've got to tread that fine line between knowing that you can do the job, you can do the right job and get it done to the standard that should exceed what the customer thinks they want. But you've also got to be able to pull it back a bit and go, well, they're paying the bill. I'll just do what they ask.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with it. I've struggled with that a couple of times. Like I've overstepped the mark on a couple of jobs. Like I had one guy tell me that I'd done the worst earth moving job he'd ever seen.
Huh.
I knew I hadn't. I knew that it was the shit material that he tried to put down in the first place. But no amount of arguing and blow up, which we both got very. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story for another time because that's a good 10-minute yarn. That one. I'm happy to tell that another time.
We're gonna have to record all the ones that we're gonna talk about next time. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Jack's saying undersell, over deliver. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
It's like we were saying before. Yeah. Like you gotta have a bit of ego. You gotta have a bit of confidence as a business owner, but you also do have to have a bit of give as well. Yeah. So if you do, like you said before about the customer, you turn up and he says, I want this done, and you look at it and go, oh, it's not really going to work, let's try it this way, then you can sort of work together and compromise. That's you got to be sort of like that. And when it comes to payments and that too, I find, if you say, oh shit, you haven't paid me by today, that's it, you're packing everything up. Or if you say, oh, look, when can you pay me? Can you pay by tomorrow? Yep, done. You can work it out. It might be all right. So yeah, your ego sort of, you have to be on that board off with everything across your business. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, look, I was only saying this to a fella last week. When you're a small business owner, you've got to wear so many different hats, and you've got to be proficient in all of them. Like, for one, doing what we do, you've got to be a gun operator, because if you're not, you don't get a job anyway. Well, at least that's how I've always looked at it. In saying that, I have seen some contractors that need to pull their socks up and do a better job. How they still continue to get work is fucking beyond me. But anyway, so you've got to wear that hat to start with. You've got to be good at what you do. Then you've got to know, say, your levels of compliance depending on where you're working for. So you've got to be half a legal eagle to navigate your way around. So say for instance, like us with our trucks and floats, like the wife and I have been through this quite a few times that, we've got to have a specific permit for our truck and float to carry the bigger diggers we've got. Because technically speaking, I'll probably dob myself in a little bit here if our little friends at the NHVR are listening. Technically speaking, by the permit system, on one road, I'm perfectly legal. The moment I turn off that road, I'm illegal.
Yep.
You've got to know that. So, you've got to know that stuff. Then you've got to be a HR manager when you employ people. You've got to be the counsellor. They turn up on Monday and tell them they had a bad weekend with their missus or their footy team lost, and you've got to pat them on the back to tell them, it'll be all right, mate. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
So you've got to wear that hat. Then you've got to have your financial hat where you've got to be half an accountant to do your job. I'm very fortunate that I have a wonderful wife who knows her way around the books and knows how to do that sort of it, because I'll make her giggle for a second. The old dumping account that I used to have in the MyOb program, that's I'd be in a world of hurt by now, or I'd be paying a very, very large bill to my accountant, one of the two.
Yeah.
So, you've got to wear that hat. And then you've got to wear your maintenance hat.
Yep.
If you don't have a fairly, well, you need to be mechanically minded, I reckon.
Definitely.
You've got to know how to do basic stuff. Like even the amount. Oh, here's a quick little story about operators and not knowing basic stuff. Machine shits a fan belt. Guy rings me. Oh, machine's getting hot. Oh, righto. Yeah, okay. All right, have you turned it off? Yeah, I've stopped and I've shut it down. All right, cool. Turn it back on. What's the temperature you can gauge on? Oh, well, it's on about half. I said, righto, start working. I said, if it goes up straight away, go and check the fan belt. What's the fan belt? Right, okay. I literally had to talk this guy through how to climb up the steps, go to the engine thing, open the engine cover, and have a look to see if the belt was driving the big fan in front of the radiator. And he got up there and he goes, I don't think it's there, I think it's missing. Well, that'd be why it's getting hot.
Yeah, that could be the reason. I had the same. I had a guy operating the posi and didn't even say anything to me, but I noticed it because it comes up in the report. So it was a cat, so you get the notification. But the notification is always nearly 1 day late. So there's a delay. So I looked and I saw, it's saying overheating. So I called him. I go, how you going, man? He goes, yeah, good. And I could hear him still running. I said, hey, what temperature does it say on the machine? He goes, oh, it's on red, but it's been like that since yesterday. And I said, yeah, I know, because I just saw a notice. Did you think about checking anything? He goes, oh, no. But when I turn it off, it goes back down. And then when I start, it slowly takes its time and goes back up. And I was like, well, how about you go out and have a look in the back and then have a look for the fan belt? And sure enough, it was gone. Yeah, same thing. And then we cooked the head, cooked everything. 20 grand later. This is what happens, man. This is what happens. But you know what? Yeah, like you say, not everyone is mechanical. Like some guys, I have to admit, some guys have never been around cars or anything. They just know how to operate a machine, and that's it. So yeah, that's fair enough.
And look, that's another thing for another podcast another day too, is talking about the level of mechanical mindedness that an operator may or may not need to have depending on where you're working, and then how that then translates to say their hourly rate or their worth to your company as well.
That's true.
Yeah, that's another conversation for another day. I've got some pretty strong opinions on that, but we'll I see it's 9:30, man. We better keep moving on. What else do you want to do?
Yeah, no, that's it. So then the other two things is I noticed you got the steel wrist hat on, so you do have steel wrist. We'll talk about them. And I think your missus just mentioned record time. So you've got record time as well now?
Yeah. Very recently we signed up the record time with Curtis.
Yeah, tell us about record time then. Yeah, tell us that.
I'm loving it so far. How did it come about? I suppose we've always done paper timesheets because we had looked up apps and things, and we've trialed quite a few. I reckon there'd be maybe half a dozen that we'd trialed, and they just didn't work for what we do, for how we work. So to give a bit of a brief example, like we might say leave the yard tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Truck and float disappear with the digger on, goes out to Farmer Brown's and does a day's work there, knocks off at 4 o'clock, drives the truck back to town, parks in the shed. Pretty simple. The next day, he might take the truck back out, he might do 2 hours work, and then he might go down the road to Farmer Smith. And he might do half a day there. He might only do 4 hours. Might be a simple job. And then he might roll on to another job. All these apps that we looked at, you could only put in your start time to your finish time with a lunch break. It was incredibly difficult to put in those blocks of work where you could put in a good description to say what you did, who you were working for, what machine you're in. So because I've got so many machines, you might go to one job and spend 2 hours in the 25 tonner, and then I might get in to go and jump on the spoon at a little plumbing job for an hour, or for the rest of the day, say.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of different tasks there, a couple of different machines, and 2 different customers. Trying to put that into one app just seemed to be a nightmare. We couldn't get it to work. So when Record Time obviously come on here and looked at it and went, shit, I actually reckon this might actually do what we need it to do. So I dobbed the wife in here. She's like, oh, yeah, nah, probably not. It'll be like all the others. It won't fucking work.
Yeah.
Righto. Well, I reckon we should at least look at it. Well, I tell you, hats off to Curtis. Anything we've asked him to do, he's done it.
Yeah.
It's mapped out it's basically just a digital version of what we had on our paper sheet. It's great. And the maintenance side of things too, which if we go, briefly touch on compliance type stuff, a lot of guys in here would know about, you've got to supply your maintenance records and stuff these days to these bigger companies that you work for. So we've, for a long, long time, all I've had is just a paper sheet and just a simple date, hours, what you did, and who did it. I've been running that for, pretty much since I started. When I was just on my own, I used to just do it. I used to just have a little notepad and write it down. I just stuffed the notepad in the back of the seat. Like, I didn't record it anywhere else, but I knew how many hours the machine had done because I was the only one sitting in it. And then we went to, doing these paper sheets so that anyone could pull it out of their folder and go, well, here's the service record. This is what's been done to the machine. And then you can see when it's next due and all that type of thing. Now we've got it all logged in record time. It's so far it's been great. We've had it, I think, about 3 months now, or 3 or 4 months. We're now logging our fuel a bit better. So anytime anything gets a drop of diesel in it now, we're recording it.
Oh.
I know you've touched on a couple of times about fuel tax credits and that sort of thing. Because we've got sort of 2 different, because you've got the trucks, which are one rate, and then you've got your diggers because they're off highway, which is another rate.
Yeah.
Trying to separate. We get our fuel delivered in bulk. We don't go to a servo. So because we get it in bulk, get sort of 2,200 litres at a time, say, we trying to keep track of exactly how much went in the truck versus how much went in the digger has been difficult. Now with this record time, piece of piss. Now, I know Curtis is doing an update at the moment or planning it or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. He was saying to Jackie on Friday, I think it's another month away, but we'll actually be able to easily click into a folder and see exactly how many litres have been used in each plan item. Very simply, which come end of quarter tax time, for doing that fuel tax credit stuff, it'll be, a couple of clicks of a mouse and you've got the info right in front of you instead of going back and go, well, I reckon the truck did this many Ks and you get this many Ks to a litre, and it'll just save having all that now. So record time, highly recommended. If you're half thinking about getting involved with it, stop thinking about it. Call in tomorrow and sign up. It's bloody brilliant. It's worth its weight in gold for small operators like us. Yeah.
There you go. For Earthworks Hub members, you get a discount with them as well. So if you become a member, go to the discount page and it will tell you what your code is. There you go. No, good.
Yeah, you want to talk about tilt rotators?
Yeah, let's talk. We'll talk about that, and then I'll do a couple of quick fire questions, and that's it. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Tell us about the stories. What made you get a tilt rotator, and why that one?
So the tilt rotator thing, if I go back to 2019, I started looking at another machine to buy. I really wanted to go back to doing road work. Well, I did road work in Melbourne after coming back from Adelaide before we moved up here for 12 months. I did a lot of work out at Anthony's Cutting out at Melton, if you know where that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get into the roadwork game up here, and the way to do that was to get on board with Transport New South Wales, which to Victoria is the equivalent of Vic Roads. They run their own construction crews in-house, and they subcontract in excavators. They don't really have their own. There is a couple of their own floating around, but they're operating anyway. That's another thing. So I wanted to get on those jobs. I wanted to go back to doing road work. I love building roads. I like road work. I like anything that's infrastructure based. So I really wanted to get involved with that. And so the way into that was there's a supervisor working locally in town here at the time. They were doing a section out the front of the they were doing a section in the middle of town, right out the front of the IGA and the pubs and stuff. And I managed to find out who the supervisor was, and I went and met him, and I said, "Look, what's if I want to start working with you guys, what have I got to have?" And he pointed to the digger sitting on the job, and he goes, "Well, you need something like that." And the guy, and he's my competition now, and look, we don't exactly get on, let's put it that way, because he ran around telling everyone that I undercut him and I was too cheap and this and that. And look, good luck to him. But yeah, I ended up buying a Doosan. At the time, you had two options. You sort of, what was the third one? You could get a Komatsu. You could get the PC 170. You could get the Doosan, the DX 180. What the other one was. There's another machine that was in that. They told me to be in that 17 to 19 ton bracket.
Yeah.
And as I found out now that I've been doing this work consistently, I know why now. That I had a 225-2 there for a while, and when a long-term employee decided to drop it on me that he was going, I sort of got put in a bit of a bad spot and had to sell something. I couldn't keep everything. So I decided to sell that machine because, as I'd found out, once you start going over 20 ton, the physical weight of the machine actually cracks the bitumen seal on the road apart, and it can actually do damage just by crossing the road. And a lot of these jobs that we do, you're working on ones, either side of a live road. So a lot of the time you do have to cross bitumen that's not going to get dug up. So you couldn't afford to damage it. So being in that sort of sub 20 ton range is a big thing, but then you can't go back to your 13 ton machines. You can use them, but you really need the right guy in the machine because you lack breakout force and you lack reach.
Yeah.
I know BRW, Brett there, he said at the start there, unicorn. I've been hunting the next machine and I'm looking for unicorns. I'm trying to find something that's zero swing.
Yeah.
That weighs in that 17 to 19 ton that doesn't dig like a 13 tonner. But anyway, going back to the steel wrist thing. So old mate had a tilt and hitch on his machine, and I'd been starting to see a bit of stuff from Europe and that. And if I go back to sort of my rail days where I was doing a bit of rail work, they all had tilt rotators. They had tilt rotators. I think steel wrist roots go back for like 40 years or something. Like tilt rotators aren't necessarily a whiz bang new thing, but they are in Australia. And at the time, I seen a prototype for a Doherty. Doherty had stacked one of their rotating barrels on the top for the tilt, and then put a barrel the other way to make it rotate like a tilt rotator.
Yeah.
And I seen that, and I went, "Fuck, that's the winner." And then talking to Mark Denny at Doosan, there's a top bloke, top salesman, Mark Denny. I've got a lot of time for Mark. He's a great guy. Him and I just have friendly chats. He said, I told him about it, and he hadn't heard about it, but he obviously had contacts with Doherty, and Tony, who's now at Steel Wrist, was a Doherty man back in the day, and he put me on to Tony, and Tony said, "You're fucking mad. Don't go anywhere near that stupid thing. It's too tall. You'll lose too much breakout. It's not going to work. They think it is, but it's not going to work. You need a tilt rotator." And he said, you need to buy a steel wrist.
Yep.
So yeah, he showed me what they were, and I just went, right, well, as I've approached everything else, like with the GPS system and that, it was, I want to be ahead of the game. I want to have the latest and greatest thing. I want to be able to do shit that no one else around me can. Steel wrist it is. I looked at EngCon at the time, and I rang them. I can't remember who I spoke to there, but I spoke to a guy there, and as soon as I told him where I was, the conversation switched. Like it went from, oh yeah, no, but that's it. Oh well, you're this far away. Oh, geez, and I thought, yeah, no, that's not going to fly out here. That's not working for me. So yeah, went back to Mark and I said, you better get some numbers on a steerist from Tony, and yeah, let's go. So I would not have a machine without one now. I know I've still got two that don't have them, but I hope one day that if I do keep the extra machines, that eventually they'll all have rotators. It's the way of the future. It really is.
Yeah.
I can't even, sitting here now, people ask me, oh, what's the what's the big advantage of having them? It's now in second nature that I can't even begin to tell you all the stupid little things I do with one, that it's not until you hop back in a machine that doesn't have one where you go, ugh. Really? Like, I'll tell you a good one with tilting hitches compared to a tilt rotator. If you've got the barrel style tilt hitch, so your Dohertys, your attached twos, your blah blah, your twin ram versions are a little different. But just talk your barrel ones. You overrun relief on them all the time. If you try and cut a batter, and you put your bucket on a tilt and try to cut on an angle, you watch the thing will you'll overdrive it. The reliefs will come on, the thing will just freewheel, and you can't dig. You got load holding valves in a tilt rotator, doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another little thing. That 250-10, if I go back to about September last year, it hadn't done a quick hitch hose nearly its entire life. It's now done over 7,000 hours. It had done just under 6,000 and blew a quick hitch hose. Went and got it fixed, blew another quick hitch hose. Went and got it fixed, blew another one. Blew 3 of them in a week. So two of them were the quick hitch, and one of them was one of the tilt lines in a week. I haven't changed the hose on either tilt rotator. I haven't done a quick hitch hose because you don't have them.
Yeah.
So the little things like that, I won't have a machine without one now. I love them. EngCon put a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So that's why I went with steel wrist at the time. If I go back a few years ago, I did a deal with the guy to buy an old EngCon to put on my 135. I did a swap with him. I swapped the Doherty tilt that I had on the 135 for the old EngCon that he had. I got stitched up a little bit. I didn't realise that it didn't have the dual locking down the bottom. So I got caught out with that. But when I first got it, it was still legal. So I went to EngCon because it didn't come with joysticks or anything. So I went to EngCon to try and get a control kit for it. Nah. Didn't want to help me. As soon as they seen how old the rotator was, they went, nah, that's a dinosaur, mate. We got nothing. We got this, we got that. So I rang Tony. Tony knew I was getting this thing, and I told him what happened. He's like, oh, no, that's bullshit. They just don't help you. He goes, oh, I reckon I can sort it out. So I put that EngCon on that machine with steel wrist running gear. The steel wrist computer, steel wrist joysticks, hooked me up with the boom cable with the right thing. I installed it all with Tony's help over the phone, of course. And yeah, I got another machine with another tilt rotator on it. Like it just got it going, They've put a set of pallet forks on the tilt rotator and look what you can do on a job site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then chuck a gripper on the back of it and look what you can do with a gripper. Then go and chisel out in front of a head wall or get up close to the building where you're sitting on an angle, or the possibilities with a tilt rotator are endless. Yeah. They are well worth their money. They're well worth their money. Jack and I have been talking about this and a couple of other fellas where I really want to try and do a side-by-side comparison dig to show the efficiency of them. I can't put my finger on, like, I can't tell you, it saves 30% of the time. I can't tell you that because I don't know. But what I do know is that they are efficient, extremely efficient. I put a video up there a few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, of loading a tipper. I was digging out around a stormwater pit, and digging out for the new stormwater pit to go in for a triple barrel culvert under the highway in Wagga. And I sat in one spot. I did not touch the tracks and dug the thing out fully square with a little bench for where the bloke's ladder had to go, and loaded the tipper sitting off axis to the tipper. If you had to do that with even a tilting hitch, you still would have had to track from one side around the corner to square it out. And then you would have had to have your tipper in the right spot to be able to load it.
Yeah.
Mate, I won't have one without one now. They're worth their weight in gold. And they're fucking expensive.
Yeah.
They're not cheap if you compare them to a tilting hitch, but the time saving and ultimately the benefit to your customer, which they're the ones that are paying your bills. Another little touchy subject on that is like the charging for them. Charging for tilt rotators it's hard. Once you've got a supervisor or a customer that understands their worth, you have no trouble charging the extra, 30 bucks an hour. I like to be around that 20 to 30 bucks an hour compared to the equivalent machine with the rotator on. Because ultimately too, you're saving your customer money, but you should be getting some benefit out of that,
Yep.
You've invested the money to save the time. Yes, your customer needs to get the efficiency, but the efficiency they get is you getting the job done quicker.
Yeah.
Right? But you should be getting some monetary kickback for that as well. Like, you should be. It's the same with GPS. I mean, there's guys running around that still aren't charging with the GPS. And I just sit there and shake my head. You go and spend 70 grand on a GPS system and plonk it on your digger, and then what? You're not going to charge 20, 25, 30 bucks an hour for it?
Yeah.
Nah, come on. And look, if you're a project manager out there listening to this, get with the times. Like, you've got to their worth. If you're a project manager and you're demanding GPS, you know why you're demanding GPS.
Yeah.
You need to be charging for the equivalent, because ultimately everyone's winning there. The customer and the job is winning because it's getting done quicker, it's getting done more efficiently. So that's saving a whole heap of time for the customer outside of just the machine. You're saving on labourers, you're saving on staff being there an extra day on the job. It could be as simple as the guy cleaning the toilets there one day less, because the job got done a day quicker. So the company that you're working for is saving money in that aspect. You should be getting some money for having the expense and the investment of getting it, and because you're coming with the right gear to get the job done better. But yeah, there's some guys out there, undercutting's been a big thing in the game forever, and it's when work gets lean, it gets worse, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And like you say, it's unfortunate that like you say, you go spend 70, 80 grand on a rotator, and then you can't charge any extra, and you get the same money as Joe Blow that's got no attachments at all. No, you just got a regular hitch. It shouldn't be.
Mate,
shouldn't be.
I remember, that 200-8 I only had a tilt bucket for that. But around here, hardly anyone had tilting hitches. Barely anyone had even heard of them around here.
Yeah.
I obviously knew of them because of where I come from. And then so I'm going to a job with a tilt bucket, and I'm losing work to my competition who doesn't have any of that. And you're like, hang on, I've got this laser system in here. I've got a tilt bucket. I can do things way quicker. How come he's still getting the job?
Yeah.
But blind loyalty is a thing too in the bush.
Yeah.
And I will put my hand up. I am a benefactor of that as well sometimes. Like, loyalty from your customers is a big thing. Like, I've got a core group of, say, ag customers that consistently get, and they're happy to wait for me to get there or wait for us to get there. And I really appreciate that. I was saying before about being able to, that balancing act. I really appreciate people's patience to wait for us when I know they could get someone else.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. So,
That's
go on,
well,
hit me with your quick fire questions.
well said, man. No, good. I appreciate your honesty, and this has been, as some of the guys here are saying, it's a great interview. It's good because this is all down to earth. It's just true, honest, rare, raw, chat. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah, oh, look,
what I
hey,
want. So it's good.
mate, I've got opinions for days if you want to sit here long enough.
We'll book another one. Don't worry. We'll book another one. Definitely. All right, let's go. We'll do some quick fire questions. Just the first thing that pops in your head. And we'll go from there. All right, steel tracks versus rubber tracks.
Nah, well, I'm a steel track man only because of the bigger machines.
All right, Doosan or Kobelco? He's gone quiet.
Nah, I'll say Kobelco. Yeah, I'll say Kobelco.
All right, here we go. Controversy. Tilt road. If you're going to pick one, would you get a tilt rotator or GPS?
Tilt rotator.
All right. Trim work or bulk earthworks?
Nah, trim every day of the week.
Early start or late finish?
Oh, I'm a late finished man. I'm a late finished man. Quite often with the lights on, mate. Yeah, no, I'm bad for getting out of bed. I struggle. Have done my whole life.
That's it. Almond milk or normal milk?
I don't drink milk.
There you go. Lactose.
No, mate.
Lactose.
I'm still trying to stick with the younger generation. I drink water.
Yeah.
I drink V's and Red Bulls, and I drink rum cans. That's it.
There you go. That was a question from Over too, by the way.
Almond milk. Have a listen to it.
That's it, mate. Regional or city work?
I like city work because of the. I like city work because of the how do you put it, the intricacies of it. You know, digging around services, working under power lines. There's another thing I can talk to you for 20 minutes about. Power lines and spotters and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave that for today.
Yeah.
Probably city work, although sitting out in the farm, mate, particularly later in the day in springtime where you got, say, flower and canola, you know, nice sunset. Yeah, being out in the bush is pretty cool sometimes too.
There you go. Someone here, right? Who was it? Tactical Terrifying was saying BYD or Toyota.
No, I still like upsetting Greta with my F truck.
Okay, so the F truck man. All right, favorite attachment
Wow.
apart from the rotator.
I don't own one, but I'd really like a hydraulic screening bucket.
Screening bucket, yeah.
Yeah, because I quite often do. I'm gonna go and do it tomorrow. That's why the sifting bucket's in the back of the ute. I
Yeah.
hate this shaking shit.
Yes.
I can't stand it. There's two pet peeves I have with diggers. One of them is a shaker bucket, which I have to use, and the other one, and Jacko will like this, I can't stand when people put a rammer thing under the hitch and then sit there and fucking do this. Oh, it grinds my gears. I cringe. I just, yeah. So, yeah, I don't own one. I do want to own one. Yeah, probably a hydraulic screening bucket. I just reckon that'd be grouse to be able to. Half the time I didn't get to see you at DDT because I spent half an afternoon talking to two companies about screening buckets.
There you go. There was a good one. Yeah, around the corner. Did you see that one? They had one on display. You could use it. Is that the one?
Yeah, I hopped in that thing and had a go of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
not bad. Yeah, I'm trying to BRW will like this again. I'm looking for unicorns again. I want one that's going to do everything. I want one that's I want one that's going to be able to handle wet clay, but then I also want one that can handle 300 mil rock or crushed concrete.
Yeah, well, I think
Pretty hard.
those guys had adjustable screens. You could put different screens in. Yeah, that was a pretty cool one.
Yeah, that one you could. Nah, that's a bloody good bucket actually. I was pretty impressed with that one. But I think for what I do, just the rotary barrel style, like they shape like a normal bucket, and the barrel sort of spins like a clock.
Oh, like the flip screen, whatever they're called. Is that what Tactical said? Yeah, the flip screen. Yeah.
Flip screens are slow and heavy.
Yeah. Or the height.
Look, if one come up at the right price, I'd buy a flip screen.
There you go.
But no, the rotating barrel ones in the bucket where you can change the screen size. Flip screens are good for that. They're very quick and easy to change, but Yeah, flip screens, they are quite slow compared to the rotating barrel one, and you can't see what your material's doing inside of them that well either. Whereas
Yeah.
the barrel type, you're actually looking at what's going on in there.
Yeah, that's
So
true. Yeah,
yeah,
because you can scoop it and then look at it while it's yeah, true.
yeah,
Yeah, O'Neill's saying Coke or Pepsi. There you go. Uh,
Coke.
yeah. Oh, Coke. There you go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Coke, man.
Yeah, NB Crusher does one. Yeah, they do.
They
Even I
certainly
think
do.
Earthmoving Warehouse have got their own one too. Go check that out.
Yeah, I do. No, I want to go into Earthmoving Warehouse. I haven't had the
Oh,
time or opportunity yet, but I
yeah.
no, I do want to get in there and have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, have a look, and they're on, everything's online with their price too. So, and you get
Yep.
the member discount too. So go do that. And the last one is biggest machine. Oh, well, I've got a couple more. Biggest machine you've ever operated?
I jumped at a 50 tonner or 65 tonner. It was a PC 650.
Yeah.
Just had a digging bucket on it. And how good is it just to go just dig the earth and the machine sits there and just digs?
Yes.
I must admit that is pretty cool. I'd get sick of it pretty quick, but yeah, that's the biggest one I've ever been in. Yeah.
I was in O'Neill's actually. While O'Neill's is on here, I sat in his 70 tonner the other day. That was the biggest one I've sat in, and
Yep.
just loaded up the screening machine. And like you say, it's a 5 cubic meter bucket, so I could like load 2 buckets in a tipper and it'd be done. Man, I can't believe it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just big.
pretty cool. When I jumped in that 65, that's what I was doing, was loading tandems on the top of a stockpile. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say stockpile. On top of a bench,
Yeah,
digging a bench out, so up above the tipper, and you're just lifting up around 2 buckets. So get out of here, see ya.
yeah. No, it's different, man. Totally different. Oh, there you go. Well, you just answered my last one. It was going to be coffee or energy drinks, but obviously it's energy drinks. There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm an energy drink man. It's probably no good for my health, and one day I'll have diabetes. But anyway, I can't do coffee and I can't do beer, so it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not good, man. I'm the same. I can't do milk anymore. Just lactose
yep.
intolerant, man. So
Ag
definitely.
contracting work or normal earth moving work. Um, I pick road work over anything. Road work's my favourite. I don't mind the ag stuff. I still enjoy it. You know, getting out there in paddocks and the fresh air is different, and it's just it is pretty cool. But yeah, I'd say road work above everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of variety, I suppose. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. No, that's good. That's really, really good. I appreciate you coming on to Earthworks Hub, having a chat. I appreciate your support as well, being part of our community and a member as well. And for always getting involved in it. I always see your comments coming up and stuff too. So appreciate that. And also, yeah, even the comments in the chats in there. So you're always on there. So
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I'll
And
keep
appreciate you
doing it,
coming
mate.
on.
I think what you're doing. I think what you're doing is great. It's good to get like-minded people talking together. Yeah. So no, I enjoy what you're doing, Ive. It's good. It's good to have places you can go to bounce ideas off people, and the more of us that get involved in the chat bar or talk about what's going on in the world, the better off we'll all be. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's it, man. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for the
Um,
kind
I
words.
I got one thing that I sort of do want to touch on.
Yeah.
You did send me a little list of questions, so there's a few people that actually want to thank while I'm here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because they
Go
probably
ahead.
don't get the recognition that 80 ton per bucket. Yeah, I'd love to have a go on one of them big morning things, eh?
Oh, what's he saying?
But
A Liba 9800 does 80 tons per
yeah,
bucket. Holy shit. Yeah, that's big.
I'd love to go into the mines. We can talk about mines and operators and hourly rates, and we can talk about that another time too. But
100%.
I would like to go and I'd love to get in a mine somewhere and sit in one of the big diggers and just.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd get sick of it real quick, but I'd love to have a go on a 500 or a 300 or something like that. I reckon that'd be pretty cool. But in one of your questions that you asked is I'm trying to think what it was now.
Which one? Was it in, what, do you know what it was about?
Yeah, it was. I had a little note. I had a little note here somewhere that I was going to bloody refer to, and I can't see it.
Yeah. Go down,
Um,
have a look. It's all good. Yeah, because I know there's a fair few questions on there. So I always send out like some random things, even though we probably didn't even touch half of them. I usually just play it by ear as we go.
yeah,
Uh,
probably one of the Well, what it was, I think it was the question about what was the most integral part of your business, or how to make, something like that.
Yeah.
My finance broker. So
Ooh.
my finance broker, I've been with him for he got me my 200-8. And you'd know him. His name is Robbie Moore.
Oh, Mr. Robbie. Yeah, I had coffee with
Yeah.
him in Brisbane. Yeah, he's a legend, man. He used to be my broker as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got onto him through someone down in Melbourne.
Melbourne Tractors, probably.
Yeah, it was someone at Melbourne Tractors, because I was looking at a machine there at the time, and I couldn't afford to go new, which I really wanted, but I couldn't afford it. And they said, and I told them up front, I said, look, the money side of things is a bit tough. And they're like, I'll talk to this guy, he'll sort you out. Well, I joke with Robbie all the time. He's the second most important person in my life. He's Robbie is fucking brilliant. I love the man. Nothing's a drama. Ring him up, hey mate, I'm thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
Even the other day, he's on holidays there the other day, and I sort of just texted him and said, hey, don't stress, mate. No hurry to get back to me. Within half an hour, mate, he'd already texted me back. Like, he's on holidays, the bloke. Look, Robbie's been an integral part of why I'm where I am. Network Finance.
Network Finance, yeah. In Brisbane. But they do they do everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so he used to be out at Toowoomba, and then now he's at Network Finance in Brisbane. So Robbie's a bloody legend. So what I wanted to talk about was I just wanted to say shout out to a few people. I mentioned Tony at Steel Wrist.
Is that Fitzy? You're talking about Fitzgerald?
Yeah, Fitzgerald, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tony and I have become pretty good friends. I class him as a good friend now. He's a fucking guru. I tell you now, Steel Wrist in Australia wouldn't be where they are without him. I'll be honest. He's a gun, and he knows the product backwards. He knows everything about it. He's a guru. I love the man. He's fantastic. Daniel at MOBA, obviously, and Sam. Sam at MOBA. Yeah, Sam's fantastic. And also Jörg too. Jörg's obviously a little bit more behind the scenes these days, but between the three of them, same thing. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without those blokes. Obviously I mentioned Robbie, even my insurance broker. Martin at we go through Gallagher's, pretty big company, but Martin's based in Shepparton, and same thing from the insurance end. He's been great. Fantastic man. Same thing. Anytime we've had a drama, had a claim, I can talk to you about stuff that's been stolen, stupid incidents that we've had. I've got a real good one that I won't talk about today.
We're doing
another one on that one.
Yeah.
The small businesses that help us. There's a couple of guys that they drop what they're doing to help me, or even just answering the phone and talking to me. Someone else who I know is also very close to you, Ivan, who mechanic.
A mechanic? Oh, hang on a second. Which
used to be at Melbourne Tractors back in the day.
Nick.
Yep.
It's about Nick. Yeah. Is he doing your stuff? Is he?
Yeah, big stuff. Like, we do all our own. Our basic maintenance stuff we do all ourselves. But if there's something curly and something curly I need a hand with, Nick's my go-to man. And what a gentleman. Mate, he was up here. He spent 3 days up here a few weeks ago helping me pin and bush the cat. He's actually the man on the gas axe cutting that H-link off.
Yeah.
Mate. Him and I can chat for hours on the phone about all sorts of things too. But anytime I've got a curly question relating to a digger, or not even just a digger, he fixed my grader there. He did the rocker boxes in my grader for me when I had it. Same thing. Love the bloke. Yeah. I've got a plate cutting guy in Shepparton who cuts all my bucket plates. I can talk to you about buckets and attachments and wear strips and cutting edges, and we can talk about that another time too. But I build and modify a lot of my own stuff. My plate cutting man, Andrew at JMR Engineering in Shep, same thing. I ring him up, bounce ideas off him. If I need something done, he can push me up a queue and things like that. Absolute gentleman. fantastic bloke. Just loves his job too. So yeah, he's another one. A couple of local businesses close to town. I got East End Welding if we need stuff. Marshall Ag Repairs in Finley, and then I got my main hydraulic man when I've got something real curly, like if I need a cylinder resealed or something like that. It goes across to Hume Fluid Power in Ginera. Highly recommend those guys. They're one of only, I think, 2 or 3 companies that have got the size nutcracker that they've got. Anyone who's pulled a hydraulic cylinder apart will know what I'm talking about. So yeah, if you've got a big cylinder that needs doing, get on to those guys. Will I be at DDT next year? Yes, I most likely will. I won't say yes 100%, but yeah,
He'll be there.
no, I'll be coming. I think.
Well, if you want to know where you'll be on the machines that have got air conditioning and heated seats. Was that the topic we kept talking about?
Cooled seats, mate.
Cool seats. That's right.
Seat. I want an air-conditioned seat to keep my freckle cold in summer. That's
beautiful.
hey, the BYD, they were impressive. You get in there and have been sitting in the sun for a while, and you get in there and turn that on, and within a minute or two, it's like, okay, this thing works well.
Yeah, I remember you were trying all that out. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, the local suppliers that help us, my local customers, my regular guys that wait for me. Thomas, if you're still there, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We can't have the lifestyle we have. Raising a couple of kids and where we are and that, having that consistent income because of regular customers is a big thing. So I really appreciate their loyalty. My main offsider now, Callum, he's coming along leaps and bounds. He's getting better every day. For a young bloke, he cares a lot. He takes a lot to heart. We have pretty frank and honest conversations with each other, and it's great. There's something else we'll touch on next time. Honesty between operators and their boss. That's a big thing. So shout out to Callum. It's same thing. Our business wouldn't be operating the way it is today if he wasn't here. So I really appreciate what he does. I hope he should know that, but I'll just say it here just in case. My cousin Greg. So he anytime I need a hand lifting something, I need him in a truck for a day, I want him to come and help me float something somewhere, he's my go-to. He's my little rock, actually. He's a bloody legend. And we wouldn't be here in Drilder if it wasn't for him and, by extension, for Les, his uncle. So, my cousin and, my auntie and uncle, they were the integral part of why we ended up here. So, shout out to them. Here's another little thing that we'll touch on another time too, and it's been touched on another podcast. I know a couple of Starbucks podcasts have mentioned it. Your kids and the toll you running your business takes on your kids. Your kids are as much involved in this shit as what you are. You know, when how come Dad has to be at work on Sunday afternoon at 2:00? Why can't you sit here and play with me, Dad? That hits hard, but you know you got to keep it rolling for Monday because that's where the money comes from. You know, and your kids are as much in this as you're in it. You know, they see the ups and the downs of it. It's a big thing. Like anyone who's thinking about starting out, you know, think about the toll it might take on the rest of your immediate family.
Yeah.
You can miss out on things. You miss out on events because you go to work, and you know, you don't want to be a yes man, so to speak, but you have to be.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to say yes. If someone asks you to jump, you do have to say how high. You know, and while I'm up there, do you want me to do a pirouette or something? Like, you've got to, and your kids see all that, and your kids see the nasty side of it too. You know, your kids see you know, when a long-term employee leaves and you're sitting there on the couch with an angry face on, asking yourself 9 million questions as to what you did wrong or how you could have done it better, or, well, fuck, if they just said something, maybe I could have adjusted something, or that type of thing, you know, like your kids see all that. I'm very fortunate that I get to take my kids down the yard. You know, my kids are sat on my lap while I've dug something up in the backyard, built the motorbike track, or, You know, they've sat there. I've frightened the shit out of them and loaded the machine on the float with them sitting on my knee. You know, like it's yeah, your kids take a big toll, or sorry, they've got to bear some of the responsibility of you running your job too. It's
Yeah.
the whole work-life balance thing. It doesn't exist when you're a business owner. It can't exist.
Yeah.
You know, you're invested in it, and you're invested in it for hopefully a better future.
Yeah.
Let's not talk politics in this one, but
Yeah.
you know, it seems to be getting harder. And last but not least would be the wife. Or should I say the office manager / accounts?
Yeah. And the counsellor, the rock, everything.
Yeah, 100%. No, the chief antagonist too sometimes.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
are you doing that?
Yeah.
What are you doing that for? Why have you got this shit lying around? And then you fixed it, you know, you had a bit of something lying around and you fixed something on a Sunday afternoon and it keeps you moving. You go, well, that's why I had it. Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay, I understand now. Look, nah, look, Jackie's, there's no way we'd be doing this if she wasn't as patient. Yeah, Minister of War and Finance.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
That's
kind
the
of.
one.
Mate, definitely not so much the war part in this house, but finance, yeah, for sure. Like she looks after the books, she looks after the invoicing, she looks after our compliance stuff. It's a full-time job in itself. Like, and you don't get to turn off from that either.
No.
You know, she doesn't get to shut down at 4:00 or, you know, she goes and picks the kids up from school and that, or the daycare, and then, you know, I might be home, whatever, and dinner, and then she goes, you know, she could be in the office at 10:00 at night, 11:00 at night.
Yeah.
You know, if she can't sleep, she might be in there at 2 in the morning. Like, she's as dedicated as I am. So yeah, we wouldn't be doing what we were doing if she wasn't the way she was. So yeah, a big shout out to her too.
That's it. Good on you, man.
I've got a little note here, something to add to your notes for next time.
Yeah. What's that?
One of your questions was talking about getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some stuff there. Let's talk about contracts. Let's talk about wind-up orders.
All
I've
right.
got a good little story to tell about about someone owing us money. So, but we'll save that for next time, eh?
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna have another good episode. I reckon this is fantastic. What do you guys reckon? Do we do another one or what? I reckon it's good because
Haven't they all turned off? They've probably all gone to bed, mate.
no, there's
Yeah,
still some
me,
people on. There's still some people on. I know a lot of them probably get up early, so they're probably leaving, but they're still on. They're still on. No, that's good. You know what? And it's good that you recognise the people around you, and we do. We often forget to thank a lot of people around us because, like you say, they're an
Yep.
integral part of our business, especially family. And also, my hat goes off to the guys that used to do everything themselves, like even like for myself, for instance, not floating my own boat, but yeah, I used to run the whole business, the paperwork,
Yeah.
the boys, and on the tools and everything. It was hard, man. I have to admit, it was hard.
Yeah.
Probably part of the reason why I used to struggle a little bit towards the end. I was like, this is getting a bit much. But
Absolutely. And, you know, part of that too, if you go back, when I go back to when I started, you could do it all.
yeah,
You know, when you're a one-man show and go back 10 years ago, you could do it all yourself. You could manage it. But now with, add on your little list there, talking about compliance and all the bullshit little things you got to have now to go and work on some of these jobs that they have no benefit to the job getting done any better or any more efficient. They only slow the job down. Like Starbucks talks about it all the time.
yeah,
You know, he's operating 20 to 30% less than he was a decade ago.
yeah.
That's horseshit. That's not doing anyone any good.
No, it's just to
yeah.
tick boxes. Sometimes it's about ticking boxes. Yeah, unfortunately, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you take a lot of that stuff away, it was a lot easier to run your own show yourself a
Yeah.
decade ago. But now it's near on impossible, and it's not going to get any easier. It's only going to get harder. And someone put in the comment there before that, maybe, I think it might have said something like maybe the days of owner operators are numbered or something like that. Yeah, that's another thing we can talk about. And one of your questions was about hiring or owning your own. Well, a quick little throwaway line. I think the hire game's actually fucking the industry.
Yeah.
Now, that's a pretty harsh thing to say off the cuff, and I do need to clarify that. But yeah, we're running. We better go to bed, mate. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, done. And I see record time just joined. You missed a whole conversation about you. You just joined.
That's all right. You can go back and listen to it when you release
you
it.
can go back and listen. We said a couple of good things. So you'll be happy with that. Got a bit of a plug. No, very good, very good, Brendan. Like I said, man, I really, really appreciate your honesty and your straightforwardness. This is what people need to hear, and I am looking forward to doing another one. So let's do it, man. We jump off here, just go back to that same booking link and book in another one straight away, man. We'll get it done. We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll get it done somewhere, mate. And,
Yep,
you might
definitely.
have to have a little drive and come and play with the new toy once it's going.
Oh, okay, a bit of a hint there. Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
it's been a slow burn, but I'll get there.
All right, done deal, man, done deal. Well, I'm going to do a sort of local road trip shortly as well. So I'll throw you in there as well, man. That's it.
Yeah, no worries.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, mate.
I'll let you log off. Thank you so much once again. For anyone that is not following him, it's Lawto_Diggin. Is that right? On
Yeah.
on,
Digging, yep.
yeah, on Instagram. And Jack Hilly saying, "Get in
Get in
line." That's it, mate. That's it. Yeah. No, anyone that hasn't seen any of your videos, and that, go check him out. He does a lot of good stuff. You can learn some good things on there and see what he does with his steel wrist. And yeah, you still show some MOBA stuff on there as well, and that. So it's good bit of everything. So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
try to do a few. I try to educate a bit with the MOBA stuff. It's the more people that use it, the better. So
That's it, man. That's it. All right, I'll let you turn it off, and then I'll just say a few shout out to our other sponsors and that, and then say good night. So thank you very much, Brendan. We'll speak to you again, man.
no, you're welcome, mate. Thanks very much for having me. Appreciate it. Cheers.
All the best. See ya.
See you guys.
All right, so there we go, people. Thank you very much to Brendan Lawton, man. So what an absolute champion. Really good to hear someone with brutal honesty and just talk freely. No bars held, is that what they say? No holds bars, whatever you call it. I don't know. Anyway, but he did it. He did good, man. So I really appreciate that. And then to even just get him on camera on that is actually very, very, very. It was difficult to get him on. Let's just say that. But he was on. He's done it. He's done it. Now he wants to do another one. How good's that? So what a legend. So a quick shout out to all our other partners, MOBA Australia, who was on here a bit earlier today or tonight. Network Finance, Digger, Guidings, Record Time, who was here as well, Stucky, EI Engineering, Hex Hire, More Global Logistics, EWS Recruitment, 10-Star Simulation, Tidal, Fluid Power, and WestTrack. So thank you very much to all those partners. You can find all of them on our website, either on the front page, or if you go to the Our Partners section in the menu, you can see all of them. If you become a member of Earthworks Hub, so an industry or business member, you get discounts with all of them as well. So more reason to do it. So for instance, if you became an industry member, just 1 month of or 1 year almost, you could save with your first discount, if that makes sense. So hopefully that came out right. But yeah, just by using one of the discount codes, you can probably save yourself your whole year of membership. Anyway, that's my explanation. Go check out the Earthworks Hub community. It's live. I mentioned it at the start of the show, and you'll see some posts on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social apps that we're on. It will explain what to do. Go up and click on plans and pricing. You can choose between free, industry, or business member. Free will give you access to some of the public sections, so you can get a bit of a taste for it and still get involved in the conversations. And then if you want more, you can become a industry or business member. So check that out. It'll give you what's included in each one. All right. It's getting late. This was a bit of a longer one, which was good because it's good to keep going when there's good conversation. GTX Positrack is saying that was an awesome one, Ivan. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. So yeah, go and check out this episode. If you just missed all that and joined us a bit late, it'll be up on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple a bit later on during the week. And you can see all our other podcasts on there. If you want to be a guest, send me a message. If you know someone that might be a good guest as well, let me know. If you've got some topics you want me to cover, because they're not always guests, sometimes I do topics, I can do that. Give me some things to talk about. Send me a message. All right. Other than that, I wish you all the best for the rest of this week. Hopefully there's not too much rain where you are. We've had some rain down here in Melbourne. Might be a bit wet for the start of the week. If you want to become a partner or a sponsor, also hit me up or go to the website and you'll see under the partners menu that you can inquire about becoming one. What else? Merch. We still have merch going. So If you want to go to the menu where it says about us, and you can click on merch and buy some. So everything is helpful. O'Neill's is saying he'll get the booking link sorted soon. Yes, do it, man. Do it. Oh, Final Trim's joined. Where is he? Final Trim, look at this. Wait a second. Where is he? I've been swapping hats throughout the evening. I don't know if everyone noticed, but I've been swapping. I had your one on a bit earlier. Tom's joined us. It was a late one tonight, Tom. We had a long conversation with Brendan Lawton from Lawton Earthworks, which is a really good episode. So go back and check that out. And just a big shout out as well, Final Trim, while you're there, for driving me around, showing me all around Terrigal, all those areas up there near Newcastle and that. Thank you very much for your time. And Jaden as well from JBL. So thank you for your time. And who else do we see? FTX Transport. So as well, we saw the young fella from there. So good. Thank you for your time as well, man. For everyone, thank you for listening. I will see you all on the next episode. And I'll see you in the community during the week. Jump in and start posting. See you there, guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the lot.
became steel resistant.